Welcome back, everyone, to episode 62 of Against the Call. Today, we are joined by Luke Stutzman, of course.
Yes,
once
sir.
again,
Yes,
he's
sir.
the
Yes,
guy.
sir. Yes, sir.
He's back. He's going to be coming on quite often. But let's go over the lineup for today. We have the pregame, as always. We're going to have our Around the League segment of college football Week 2 recap, plus our Week 3 predictions. We're also going to have our countdown of the best college football Week 3 matchups of next week. Also, we're going to have Around the League NFL games to look forward to. Our way too early NFL award predictions after Week 1. You know, we've done the way too early predictions before, but this is our official early predictions. And then we're also going to have our fantasy starts and sits for the week. Mike's locks is back, and I think he did pretty good last week.
I got one.
Yeah, which we'll get to that. Also going to have our fantasy draft, AFC only. We've done AFC East, right? You and Luke did that,
Yep.
and then we just did AFC West last week. So now we're going to have AFC South. We're also going to have Around the League. Before that, we're going to have guessing team based off Madden ratings. I am excited for that. For sure. And then we're going to have Around the League FIBA World Cup. A little bit of news there. I heard about some LeBron James news, so stay tuned for that. And then we're also going to have the post game. So the pregame, how's everybody's day going?
I'm doing great.
I mean, I'm doing okay, I guess. Football season's not going very well for me, so
Yeah, I can see how that's a factor. But
yeah,
football season's going all right on this end for sure. I mean, which we'll get to that in a second. But Mike, how's your day?
It's going great. I'm 3-0 in my fantasy leagues. Dude,
Same
life
here.
can't get better than the Patriots. For fucking reason, but that's okay.
And we'll get to all that in a second. But as you all know, we're part of Out of Pocket Sports podcast brand, whatever you want to call it. So make sure you go head over to all of our stuff over there. We got some great stuff cooking up. But let's just jump right into the segment today. Around the League, college football Week 2 recap and Week 3 predictions. So it was honestly a pretty decent weekend once again for college football. I mean, every weekend's a great weekend for college football.
this is true. Yeah, it's always fun.
But I can start right off the bat, Luke. You know it's a great weekend when Alabama loses.
I mean, yeah, this is also true, especially whenever it's a team as cool to watch as Texas right now.
Yeah.
They're a fun team to watch. So
Yeah. And the thing is like this Texas team could have still been just as cool to watch last year if Alabama didn't injure Quinn Ewers last season.
This is exactly what I'm saying. I think Ewers is going to be probably one of the better quarterbacks to go into the draft whenever he eventually gets to that point. Like, he's actually way better than I expected, especially coming off of that injury, dude. Yeah, he's looking nice.
He's going to be way better than Texas' last quarterback to go to the league, Sam Ehlinger, obviously.
Well, yeah, definitely. I liked him in college, but he was just a college quarterback. I think that Ewers is probably going to actually make that jump, in my opinion.
Yes, he will. And I'm excited to see what he does. That Texas team, that game was a good one. Michael, can you pull up the Texas versus Alabama game?
Yeah.
Obviously, number 11 Texas went into the big house of Tuscaloosa, and they took number 4 Alabama down.
Yeah, dude.
It was a great game to watch, for sure. Final score 34-24. Quinn Ewers threw for 349 yards and 3 touchdowns. Absolutely insane.
Yep.
You also had Jonathan Brooks rushing, as always. He's been killing it this year. Receiving, Jatavion Sanders. He had 5 receptions, 114 yards. It was a great day for receivers, and Quinn Ewers was all behind that, but not a great day for Alabama. They're kind of questioning who's going to be that quarterback still, I think, after that Jalen Milroe performance. Don't you agree, Luke?
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, this is for
two interceptions. He still had the 2 touchdowns, over 250 yards, which is always a solid thing. But when you're playing in Tuscaloosa to keep your playoff hopes alive, it's not looking good for Jalen Milroe.
Got to do better, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it was it was a solid game for Texas. It was a fun weekend, and that was the headliner game, I would say, for the weekend. But let's move into some of the other games. We can start off with another big name school as of right now, Colorado. And as Dion likes to say, it was personal.
Yeah,
it was personal.
He's keeping the receipts, dude.
And,
I'm buying into this hype, dude.
Oh man,
I'm 100% like bought in already. That's one thing that Dion's so good is getting people to buy in, and I'm here for it, dude. I think Colorado's gonna shock the freaking world.
They are, and so they beat Nebraska 36-14. Shedeur Sanders. Thank you, my man. You let my bet hit. He had 393 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was 31 for 42. It's crazy stats.
They throw a lot.
Oh, they do. And another thing I want to mention here, Xavier Weaver, 10 receptions, 170 yards, 1 touchdown. Funny to mention, he was a USF player. And then you also have Travis Hunter, 3 receptions, 73 yards on those 3 catches. Just absolutely insane. And he's playing on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
This guy is probably going to be the non-QB favorite to win Heisman.
100%.
If not the Heisman winner. But on Nebraska's side, Jeff Sims is absolutely dog shit, just as he was the previous year. I mean, when you whenever you like muff the snap about every time, and you either turn it over or it costs you a sack on almost every drive.
Yes.
And then, he only had 106 yards. I should have bet the under on him. But yeah, it was a bad performance from Nebraska. And I mean, who saw Nebraska winning this game? Nobody. At the first quarter, it was close.
Yeah,
it was like 7-7. Maybe
it was a pretty
7-0.
Defensive matchup at the beginning of the game.
At the beginning, I was kind of getting worried, especially about my bets, but they ended up pulling through, and Dion, he kept it personal. I love that video, man. Have you seen that video?
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he just keeps getting them to say like, he's like, waits for them. He's like, it's personal. He's like, it's personal. It's personal. And then because I guess Matt Rule said some things. I guess some of the Nebraska players said some things.
Of course they did, and you shouldn't have. It's Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I know.
Like, come
and
on.
Deion's like, I like that coach over there, but he says some things, so it's personal. And yeah, it was fucking personal for real. 36-14.
Mm-hmm.
Another game was Youngstown State versus Ohio State. This game was close for the first half.
Yeah, I know. I was so confused. I was like, what the heck is going on? Honestly, dude, I just don't think Ohio State is just at the same level that they have been these past couple of years.
They aren't. And my 2 favorite, the favorite in my opinion that will win the Big Ten is Michigan. They are looking dominant.
I agree. I think Michigan has a solid ass team. Honestly, with Ohio State, for me, I just think that it starts with the quarterback play. I don't know. What's his name? Is it O'Corn?
Kyle McCord.
Or McCorn? I don't think that kid's it, man. I don't think he is
either. And at the same time, there's no way that this team is going to be able to compete with Michigan when last season they just had CJ Stroud and they still lost.
Yeah.
And that's funny to think of. The only bright spot on this team is Marvin Harrison Jr.
And he can't carry the team.
No, he can't. One receiver can't carry.
There's no way.
When Kyle McCord is inaccurate, it's going to be a bad day. And this is against Youngstown State, who, they should have won 60-7. But that Marvin Harrison Jr. still 7 receptions, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's looking like he could be, a top 5 draft pick in the NFL still.
Yeah, he'll probably do well in the NFL, but it's just this Ohio State team is just not looking very good.
They're not looking good. I would say to look forward in the Big Ten, look for Michigan to win, look for Penn State to be your second favorite to win.
Penn State is even looking really nice as well. So
they are. They finally got their quarterback with Drew Allard. Yeah. And they're loving it over there. But let's see where Mike lands at as he's scrolling, so I can look over
the Penn State game.
No worries about the Penn State. It was a blowout. It was against Delaware. They played a nobody. But Notre Dame versus NC State. Sam Hartman is still looking like he's a top quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And it's funny how you have all these people that are like eligible for Heisman this year. I think that this Heisman race is going to be closer than any whenever it gets narrowed down.
Last year's was just kind of like nothing was really there at all. It was just going to be Caleb Williams pretty much no matter what. But this year there's a lot of options, 2 of them being from the same team as well, with Shedeur and Hunter or whatever.
Yeah, Travis Hunter. And the thing is with Sam Hartman, 286 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is against NC State, who at the beginning of this game, it was looking very close as well. But it is Notre Dame, and I'm going to say this. I'm buying into the Notre Dame hype a little bit.
I am too, especially since it's not Brian Kelly there anymore.
Yeah, it's Marcus Freeman. He's doing his thing. Sam Hartman at the helm. It's looking good, but it's Notre Dame. So let's not get too excited. They're going to blow it to somebody.
Hey, they're in the ACC now, right?
No, they aren't. They're still independent.
Oh, okay.
And Notre Dame is like in the ACC for like basketball and certain other stuff.
Okay.
It's weird how NCAA does some stuff, but Utah versus Baylor was another headliner game for the weekend. Didn't expect it to be, but it was. I didn't
expect this game to be close at all, but apparently it was.
It was. It came down to the final 2 minutes. Utah was pushing on the drive. It was obviously a great drive near the end. They came back, went up. It was 13-13, then went up 20-13. But very controversial call at the end of this game. Baylor went down. They drove. They had a very solid drive as well. I think it was like 80 yards. I remember there was like a 30-yard reception on that drive to get them near the red zone. And then at the end, they had about a second left. Throw it to the end zone, and a no PI call was called. It was quite literally like simply just pass interference.
It was pretty blatant, but
it was
this is football, guys.
Yeah, so
I don't know. To me, it's looking like Utah's missing Cam Rising a little bit here, though. They struggled against Baylor, and I mean, Baylor did have a lot of hype. They were home, and it was pretty noisy, but I mean, they just did not. They were not clicking offensively like whatsoever. So.
Yeah, it would have been very embarrassing for Utah to lose this game to a Baylor team that just lost to Texas State by like 11 points.
Yeah, I mean, still beating them only 20-13 is still not very good.
Yeah,
I would not be satisfied with that if I was Utah at all.
Don't be at all. I mean, like you said, Cam Rising isn't there, so they do have a little bit of slack because they're backup quarterback. But let's move on. As Michael pulled up a second ago, the UCF game. Were you able to watch this game, Luke? Were you able to watch
this game?
I was not able to catch this one, but I heard it was tight.
It was stressful. Let me just say that.
It was. And, if you guys weren't at my place, sadly, but we had 2 TVs going and 2 laptops going. It was a great day.
I watched the second half of this game.
Second half, yeah. So we had this game on one of my other TVs. So I was kind of in between watching a bunch of different games, but I was able to watch most of this game here and there. I really tuned in near the fourth quarter. But this game was, like you said, Michael, it was a nail biter.
I just kept checking my phone, like pulling up the screen the first time. I was like, why is this close? Stop. Why?
A disappointing nail biter as well.
Yeah, for Boise. Well, are you talking about JRP? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, I'm just talking about, like, I don't think it should have been that close for UCF.
Yeah, it shouldn't have.
But you guys got to realize this, too. I mean, you're playing at Boise. They're wearing their blue jerseys for whatever reason. And then, Boise had a sold-out crowd.
Boise in their first home game is, like, historically good.
Yeah. Yes, they were on
true. They did have a lot of hype as well.
They were on a 23-0 home opener win streak, and UCF snapped it.
It does. Yeah, it is a factor.
Also, you guys,
in college football.
Yes, and in 2021, Boise State barely lost to us, so this was kind of their revenge game at the same time. So there were a lot of factors that played into this. JRP, of course, throwing another pick. I mean, if you guys are wanting to bet, obviously he's out, and we'll get to that. Yeah. If you guys are wanting to bet, please bet the over on his interceptions because it's going to happen every game.
One of the interceptions wasn't his fault. I saw it was in the end zone. I'm pretty sure it was that one. Like it was in the receiver's hands. He should have caught that.
Yeah,
I hate that, dude.
It happens way too often. But he did have 272 passing yards. He also was 16 for 24. But as again, our rushing unit at UCF is just absolutely insane. Which is funny though. JRP is leading our rushing. He's our number 1 rusher on the team. He's actually the number 51 in the most rushing yards in entire college football. So that's interesting. But with 15 carries, RJ Harvey had 70 yards and a touchdown. It seems like every game RJ Harvey is going to get the rock and he's going to score. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But also Johnny Richardson, he still had 11 carries, 62 yards. Still very good. But this game receiving, Kobe Hudson was able to grab some more yardage. He had 5 receptions, 134 yards. No touchdowns, but compared to that Kent State game, he had a lot better production. They were targeting him a lot more. He is, the wide receiver 2 on the team. But let's get to the main point here. JRP is going down.
Mm-hmm. And luckily, no surgery.
Luckily, no surgery. He's only out for 3 to 4 weeks.
It's gonna be rough though.
It will be rough, especially since after the Timmy McClain gets one warm-up game. One warm-up game is against Villanova. He should perform all right. They're going to be handing off the rock quite a bit.
Which is a good thing. The rushing is the number 1 in the country out of all teams.
Yes,
right now.
But then
you could do a lot, and that's something that I feel like is going to save UCF here with these next couple of weeks without Plumlee playing. Is the fact that their rushing is so good. Mm-hmm. It's going to help out that backup quarterback a lot. So I feel like you guys are probably still going to do fine. I think that some of the games are going to be tighter, yes, but you guys can still win games. There's no way that you guys are going to be completely out of it. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to play the waiting game a little bit here too. So
I think that what we struggled with in the Boise State game was our offense.
Yeah,
and that cannot be a factor whenever in 2 weeks we go up against the previous Big 12 champion Kansas State in their own house. I think that's going to be – it could be a blowout on Kansas State part if Timmy McClain doesn't look that good next week.
It's going to be a tough game, yeah, for sure.
I'm scared, going forward with Timmy McClain. Now, don't get me wrong.
I'd be nervous too, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a hard game.
We have to see how he does against Villanova. I mean, his time at USF was not impressive at all. But it was USF, and his head coach was Jeff Scott, who had one FBS win in his time there.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does. He's got Darren Henshaw as the OC. I think he's gonna fit well in our scheme. That's why he came here. So we'll see how he does against Villanova. Hopefully, it's as big of a blowout as it was against Kent State. Villanova is an easier team, so we'll see about that. But let's look at the next game here. Let's see what we should talk about here. Georgia was looking weird at the beginning. They keep looking really weird at the halftime to all these easy games that they're playing.
What about this Miami Texas A&M game?
Miami Texas A&M game was unexpected.
Yeah, pretty wild, especially that. Okay, so Hard Rock is usually not one of those louder stadiums in college football, but I did tune into a little bit of this game, and they were rocking in that stadium.
Which is funny because they have BOGO sales for their tickets, and yet people still aren't going.
Yeah, but dude, it was pretty loud, dude. Texas A&M had a rough time, especially near the end of the game whenever Miami was really starting to kick it offensively. Texas A&M couldn't hang, and that stadium was kind of rocking. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. I was rocking. I was able to tune in a little bit. Tyler Van Dyke had 374 yards with 5 touchdowns.
Tyler Van Dyke, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, like I'm not kidding you, dude. He played lights out. I think did he have that one pick?
No, he didn't have any picks.
Okay, yeah, and honestly, a lot of the incompletions were perfect passes that just came off the receiver's hands, dude. There was a touchdown that was missed too. That was right in the breadbasket, dropped.
Yeah. So now, like. The main question is, I mean, obviously Miami did good in this game. Texas A&M struggled. But the main question is, how are we feeling about Jimbo? Think about last season, number 1 recruiting class in the nation, ended 5-7.
This is one of I don't think Jimbo can do it in the SEC, dude.
I don't think he's built for it either.
I don't know if he can do it, and I don't think he's, I think that his coaching career might be coming to an end here pretty soon. It's just Texas A&M has just kind of been on this mediocre to low-key bad, streak ever since he's been there. So it's just like,
and the craziest part is
nothing's
that
changed.
Contract.
Nothing's changed about it, and it's just I don't know. I think that Jimbo is probably not going to be at A&M for very much longer, if you ask me.
I don't think so either. I think probably after this year, see how it ends. I could see him. I mean, he's already on the hot seat, but I could see him being gone probably next year, the year after.
Yeah.
It's tough for him for sure. But another just quick recap: Iowa State. I mean, you don't got to click on it, Mike. It was just Iowa won. It was a rivalry game. Didn't really get to watch it, but in classic Iowa fashion, it was a low-scoring game, 20-13.
Yeah.
But another bigger game here was Ole Miss versus Tulane, which at the time was a ranked matchup.
Yeah, this one was exciting for a little bit.
It was, and I kind of thought Tulane was gonna run away with it.
I thought they were gonna take it, dude. And I was kind of wanting them to. I was like, no way, dude. Yeah. I just like watching big upsets happen in college football, but I don't know. Ole Miss ended up running away with the game.
Yeah, and Jackson Dart was able to look quite nice. He had 267 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick near the beginning of the game. But also with Tulane, they were rocking with their backup quarterback in this game. And I mean, they still dropped 20. Yeah. They still kept it close to the beginning. Who knows what could have happened if their starter played? We'll never know. But Ole Miss stays alive, gets the win. For a few of these games here, I mean, Michigan blew out UNLV, Washington blew out Tulsa. But this is obviously a big game we can talk about here, which was Tennessee versus Austin Peay. What a bad game, guys.
Yeah, this was pretty disappointing for Tennessee. Dude.
And you know what happens is, like, if you're outside of the SEC, you don't understand whenever you beat a team 30-13, you're like, how in the world is this a bad game? Well, first off, it's an FCS opponent and you're an SEC school.
And it's at home.
Yeah, and it's at home. Now, the thing is I mean, there was a lot of bad calls. I was watching this game with 2 Florida fans, and they backed me up that their calls were awful in this game.
I didn't watch any of this game, so I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot of missed calls. I mean, a lot. And at the same time, there was... And I'm not blaming all on the officials at all.
Right.
Joe Milton scares me every game. I mean, I don't know.
That's what I'm about to say. Like this, yeah.
And the thing is I mean, this isn't a question. You know, all preseason, I'm trying to ride with Joe Milton. I'm trying to ride with it. Have confidence in your quarterback, as you should.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to say what I've said the previous year when we talked about college football. Joe Milton is not that guy. I mean, he's not. And I'm ready to see Nico get action, if I'm being honest. Joe Milton, and like you might disagree with me, but I think that, and I talked to another Tennessee fan about this, he's kind of like Anthony Richardson.
No, I do agree. Because it's the big arm, but it's the accuracy issues. He's not necessarily throwing a bunch of interceptions per se, but his decisions look really bad because he's just so inaccurate with the ball. Therefore, leads to a lot of 3-and-outs, leads to a lot of just like empty possessions, just because of the fact that he has all of this talent. And honestly, the way that they throw the ball is very similar to the flick of the wrist with can go 60 yards, but none of that matters if you're going to miss receivers. And that's why Tennessee is looking like a rushing team right now, because they have far more rushing yards than they have passing yards right now, and that's because of the quarterback play right now. Yeah. So I definitely agree. I 100% agree with you.
With Jalen Wright, I mean, he is leading the rushing. And as you said, with Joe Milton and the interceptions, he's second in the longest streak of no turnovers in the FBS. But the thing is, like you said, he has such a good arm, just like Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
And that can be a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
If you have such a powerful arm, sometimes it's too hard when it gets to the receiver.
Yeah.
They can't catch it. Now, at the same time, you can have a play where Joe Milton throws it too hard, and also the receiver should have catched it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can have that same play, which happened in this game. And, I mean, Austin Peay at the same time, they were an in-state team. And also, my mom taught there at one point. Like, I've been to an Austin Peay game, which is kind of cool. But this should have been a blowout. You know what I mean? This should have been a blowout.
You guys should have at least put up like 49 points on
it. And this is a reason why they dropped in the rankings. They were 9 and now they're 11, which is respectable. I mean, I thought we would have went to like 15 after that game, so I'm actually thankful for it.
I think that, I think that dropping you guys is kind of, I don't know. I hate dropping after getting a dub. It kind of sucks. But like in college football, I get it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just glad it was only down to 11 for you guys, just because like, with all things considered, you still beat them by multiple possessions. So, I mean.
Yeah, and the thing is I mean, they had that late touchdown to even get them to 13, but also their coach, man, I can't stand that guy. He was out on the field.
Yeah, he was kind of ridiculous. I think I did see some clips of him just like being crazy.
I mean, he was out on the field on a drive.
Yeah.
That's not even allowed.
Yeah, he was kind of being ridiculous.
And at the same time, I mean, like, I saw memes like, how much coke was this guy on? Like,
yeah. I mean, he's just doing everything he can because, I mean, like, he's an FCS opponent getting an opportunity to play a big name team like Tennessee.
Exactly.
So I guess I get his intensity, but some of it was just ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you with that statement, but not a lot else to be said there. It was just overall a disappointing game despite the win. We can move on to another disappointing game, UNC versus App State.
Yeah, dude.
Once again, went to an overtime.
But it is App State, though. I mean, like, come
double
on.
Double overtime.
Like, oh, it was double overtime?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, yeah, double overtime. If you guys remember last year, went to triple overtime.
I mean, App State is, like, always that team that is, like, looking to upset all the time, though, year after year. So it's like.
Ever since that Michigan game that put them kind of on the map, they've always been upset.
Literally, though. Like, literally.
And this is. It almost happened again. I mean, we were all watching, all anticipating. I mean, North Carolina missed that field goal to put them into overtime. It was all hype. But Drake May, one of those Heisman caliber players, was able to get it done. He didn't even have the best game, though. Only 208 yards for him.
He did call game, though, I'm pretty sure, though, right? Did he run it in? Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did, actually, yep. But, I mean, not a lot else said. Just disappointing game. Drake May, you did it again, my friend. Oklahoma versus SMU was also an interesting game. I mean, only 28-11.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Oklahoma. They're a weird team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like Jim McElwain Florida Gators at the moment. Just not much going on.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel, he still have 4 touchdowns, only 176 yards.
That's weird to see.
Yeah.
Like 4 touchdowns with only 176 yards.
Yeah.
So it must have been just like either like in the red zone type of touchdowns or something like that. Yeah, there's not many long.
There's no rushing touchdowns.
But I mean, you know, this team just went out and beat Arkansas State, who is an FBS school, 73-0, and then you go up against SMU. I mean, hey, SMU's going to the ACC, so maybe they're good or something. I don't know, but I don't really think so. You know, especially if this being an AAC team, should have been handled a little bit better. It was also close at halftime again, but let's look at some other games here. I'll just skim over some games. Oregon at Texas Tech. That was closer than it should have been. It was 38-30. Texas Tech just lost to Wyoming last week in overtime. So it was, and for a second there, Texas Tech was looking like they were going to run away with it. I think Bo Nix is not going to be in New York for Heisman as much as the fans want it to be. I don't think that he's that caliber of a player. I think that this Oregon team might even lose to Colorado, but we'll get there eventually. Other than that, Washington State beat number 19 Wisconsin 31-22. So now Washington State's ranked. You also had a blowout by Florida State against Southern Miss 66-13. Oregon State handled business on their home opener. It was 55-7, and USC handled business as well, 56-10 against Stanford. So overall, these first few weeks, there's always a lot of not so great games. The home openers, and you're playing against FCS opponents and stuff like that. But it was a decent week for sure. And let's look at week 3 here. Do you want to go over our week 3 predictions, or do you want to go over the countdown?
I just do it mixed in. Let's do the countdown, then after we can talk about.
Yeah.
So, I like that. So go ahead, Luke. Your top 5 countdown for the best games coming up.
You want
this
me to just
weekend.
list all top 5, or just give me?
Just count it down 5 to 1.
All right. So at 5, let's see this. At 5, I have Georgia, South Carolina SEC matchup. I mean, I just put it at 5. I put it in there. Honestly, this week is not all too interesting. There's not too many big games going on. So I had Georgia, South Carolina. Maybe something can happen there. Who knows? But it is in Athens. So, I mean, it could be a destruction. But number 4, I have Washington, Michigan State at 4. Another pretty cool matchup, I guess, that you can see. I'm pretty sure I have Washington winning this game. They have a really solid team, but who knows? I think that Michigan State's defense is just looking really iffy, and they need to step up. But that's just at my number 4 spot. At my number 3 spot, I have the Colorado and Colorado State, just because I think it is the game day game this week. Mm-hmm. It's in Boulder, so that could be a really hype game. Another rivalry game. Anything can happen, really. At the 2 spot, I think I have the same 2 as it's the UCF Villanova. I'm just excited to see what the backup quarterback does here. He's definitely got a good tune-up game here, so that's exciting. Hopefully it's a lot of points scored. See what's happening there. And then, I got to give my Florida Gators the number 1 spot going against Tennessee here. Another SEC matchup should be exciting in the Swamp. We'll see what goes on there. But, yeah, that's my countdowns.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. I'll go next, I guess. Yeah. My 5 and 4, I was really just looking at games and just picked them.
Yeah, so, you really could go a lot of directions here, but
so on my 5, I had the Kansas State versus Missouri, a Big 12 versus SEC school. Kansas State ranked at 15. Missouri, they're undefeated, but they're not ranked. They haven't played any good teams, but this will be like a little test for them. At 4, I had Washington versus Michigan State. This interests me because I've been seeing a lot of stuff about Michigan State this week, especially with their head coach got fired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, which is another topic of discussion. I mean, with Mel Tucker, I think that he's one of the better coaches in FBS. I think that if he were on an SEC school, he could turn their entire program around. But, I mean, he hasn't been able to get the recruits at Michigan State like he wants. I mean, he's also an assistant to Nick Saban, so that says enough right there. But Tuck, man, wishing him the best. I'm not going to say he did it or he didn't. He says that he didn't do, like, what I think it was like sexual harassment or whatever it was.
Yeah, sexual something, but he said it was consensual or something.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in court. We'll see if he's a coach again. Tough looks for Michigan State, my friends.
Yeah, it's looking rough.
But at my number 3, so I'm excited for it because how bad they're gonna lose is Bama USF.
Yeah, that was an honorable mention for me for sure.
That's just straight bias for anyone that's like not a USF fan or anything.
I mean, I want either of those teams to lose, I guess. I mean, either of those teams I'm pretty happy with.
It would be funny if Bama loses, but then I don't want to hear USF fans.
That's true.
I'd rather just have Bama win.
Have Bama win like dog shit on them. You know what I mean? 50-0, and then we can carry on. But if USF wins, God damn, put us in the SEC. Put us in this. That's what they're going to be doing. Think about this, guys.
Annoying,
their first FBS win in like 3 or 4 years would be against Bama. We would never hear that.
Yeah, that's so true, dude. That's so true.
But at my number,
I reject my statement.
But at my number 2, I have UCF Villanova. Again, McLean's first game. I'll be there. I'm hoping it's going to be a fun game to watch. Hopefully he goes off, but that's my 2. And then my number 1, I have Florida, Tennessee.
Yeah. Solid list once again. I'll have an honorable mention, UCF versus Villanova. That's just personal. I just wouldn't have on my list because I think that there's better games for a casual like college football fan. So at my number 5, I'm going to have TCU versus Houston. Both of these teams are looking a little underwhelming this year. However, this is Houston's first real test in the Big 12 against an in-state rival, quote unquote, TCU. So I'm expecting to have a big game out of these two teams. I think it's going to be a fun one. At number 4, there's a bigger rivalry going on this weekend. Pitt versus West Virginia, the backyard brawl, which is always, almost every year, like one of the best games of the year. In recent years, it's kind of gone down a little bit, but this year I've been seeing a lot of hype around it on Instagram, so I'm excited. At my number 3, same as Luke's, Colorado versus Colorado State. I don't think this is going to be a close game. Like you said, it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. Yeah, but it's going to be – I think that Colorado should be on your countdown every week just to watch them play.
Yeah,
because
they're so fun to watch,
they're amazingly fun to watch. And obviously, like you said, it's kind of a rivalry game. So, and my number 2, though, I'm going to have Georgia versus South Carolina. And in parentheses here, I have upset alert.
Oh, no way?
Yes.
You think South Carolina's taking Georgia?
I think so.
Now, listen, I mean, I think you said this a couple of weeks ago, and you were just like, you don't think Georgia's going to be as good.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that. I don't think that they're going to the national championship for the 3rd time in a row this year or anything like that. And man, losing to South Carolina like this, I don't know about that yet.
Number 5 Tennessee did it last year. I'm not like
but I don't think South Carolina looks that great.
I think that they look good enough that they can keep it close. Like if they keep it tied at halftime, and then they are able to come out and score 1-2 touchdowns. I think that Georgia can slip.
Yeah,
I think especially with Carson Beck. Who has Carson Beck played to prove himself this year?
No, I don't think Carson Beck's that great.
And almost every halftime against these FCS schools, Ball State was FBS, but against a MAC school and an FCS school, it's not looking great for Georgia. And this is their real SEC test. Yes, they have a good defense. Yes, they have Brock Bowers. But yes, they have Carson Beck, and I don't think he's legit. And like you said, if they win this game, sure, they're not going to win the national championship for a 3rd time.
I don't think so.
There's way better teams this year.
I just think that it's in Athens, and Georgia might come in with a lot of hype with this SEC matchup. So I do see them winning a close one. I don't think they're going to necessarily kill South Carolina, and honestly, like that might wake a couple people up if they don't beat the shit out of them, because they're going to be like, wait, like we didn't just kill South Carolina, like what's going on here? So, I mean, plus I don't necessarily think South Carolina is horrible, but I don't know.
I'm just saying upset alert. Not saying they're gonna win. Not saying they're not. I just don't be surprised if South Carolina does pull this off. Yeah, and now my number 1, we all agree: Tennessee versus UF in Gainesville in the Swamp. Mm-hmm. It's one of the greatest rivalries every single year. And I'm looking forward to it just as much as everyone else. I think it's going to be closer than both fan bases do think. And,
I agree.
I think it's going to be battle of the mid.
It's possible. I know that Tennessee's 6-point favorite in the Swamp. I think that since it is in the Swamp, I don't think that Tennessee's necessarily going to cover, but I do have them to win this game.
I mean, the fact that preseason Florida was favored and they were unranked and Tennessee was ranked. Mm-hmm. I think that them being favored by 6 points does prove a little bit of something. But I will say that I think that the first half is going to be close. Yeah. And I mean, my prediction, and it's no bias or anything, I just think that Tennessee will be able to run away with it in the second half.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I just don't think that Florida's got anything to celebrate right now. And honestly, like I was telling Michael before the podcast, I'm still looking at this year as still kind of a year 1 for Napier, just because last year we were still dealing with some Mullen recruits and still kind of getting people like in and out of the transfer portal, I guess. Mm-hmm. This is a completely this is the blank slate now for Napier. Like this is his actual team, his whole staff, his whole team. To me, this still kind of looks like a year 1, if I'm being totally honest. But I don't know. I just don't think that. I think that it'll be close in the first half just because the Swamp will be rocking, and I think that maybe there will be a couple miscues on Tennessee's part, but I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a dub for the Gators. Unfortunately,
I'm not like at the beginning of the season. I could have been like, yo, Tennessee is gonna like maybe whoop up on Florida, but after that Austin Peay game, I'm like, dog, you need to fucking figure your shit out. Yeah. We're about to go to the Swamp, and you can't beat an FCS school by more than 50. Like, this isn't looking that great. So I'm sitting here like humbly saying, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I think it could go either way, if I'm being honest. Tennessee hasn't won in the Swamp in 20 years. So
I obviously hope that it goes towards the Florida's way, but I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't want to have any hope right now, dude.
It's
so hard to, bro.
It's funny because we're both sitting here like, I don't want to have hope.
I just don't know,
It would be
man.
funny if Florida won. They become ranked, then we hear John.
Well, Florida becoming ranked.
I think they can make top if they beat Tennessee. They can beat.
I don't know about
25.
being ranked yet.
Yeah.
I don't know about being ranked yet, but I will say though, I also was saying this to Michael before, if we beat Tennessee and then we have that Charlotte game next, then we go to Lexington to play Kentucky. I feel like that'll be pretty helpful for UF going into their 3-1.
Yeah.
And having a lot more confidence in what we can do. Honestly, it's dependent on what happens in this Tennessee game, really. I know that Tennessee, honestly, my prediction is that they're probably not going to pass that well, but they'll probably run all over us, is my guess, dude.
I mean,
they're probably going to run all over us.
Same for Florida as well. I think that this game is going to be full of rushing. I mean, you're going up against Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, and also Dylan Sampson. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know the running back room fully for Florida, but I know that Trevor Etienne is a dog.
Yeah, I mean, Montrell Johnson's pretty good as well. And then we have a true freshman. I don't know his first name, but his last name is Webb. Mm-hmm. He had a couple rushing touchdowns last game against McNeese.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's really just miscues that we keep on happening, like on the offensive line. We have a really young team. That first week against Utah, that was like a lot of our defense's very first game playing in college football ever. So it's just, this team is really like young and has so much time to build. It's just, I don't think that this year's it for UF.
I mean, I will say, like, I'm not one of those guys, because I mean, quote unquote, like, conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I mean, at the same time, I'm pretty sure that Tennessee wasn't using all their plays. I mean, they ran a lot of screen plays that they normally wouldn't run in like bigger games. So maybe that was more just, hey, we're not going to reveal so much of our game plan, so much of our extra plays before we go to, and like Billy Napier sees and studies and stuff like that. Maybe that could have been a thing. I don't know. But let's look at some games for next weekend, some ranked matchups. You got Miami, who's now 22nd, playing up against Bethune-Cookman, which is an FCS school once again. I think Miami wins this. What about you guys?
Yeah, it should be a dub for Miami.
It should be.
We'll see, though.
Then you also got Kansas State versus Missouri. I think Kansas State can pull this out. I don't think Missouri is a legit contender at all for anything this year, other than a toilet bowl.
Possibly, yeah.
Then you got Penn State versus Illinois. Illinois is not looking great. They had a pretty hefty loss against Kansas. I think Penn State is legit this year. Give me Penn State.
I'm taking Penn State as well here.
Yeah.
Then you got Florida State versus Boston College. Boston College, you guys got Tommy Castellanos from UCF, whatever. I think Florida State is going to whoop up on this team, honestly.
I think Boston College is going to win, actually. I think that they're going to get confused because their jersey colors are the same. And one person's going to throw one too many picks. No, I'm kidding. No, FSU better freaking win this game. If they don't, what's happening? I don't know. Somebody's cheating.
And then for LSU, they got their first SEC matchup against Mississippi State. I think they'll be able to handle business.
Yeah,
at least they should.
I think Mississippi State looks mid. I don't think they look very good.
They're always one of those mid-tier SEC football teams anyways. And then also you got Utah versus – am I reading? Okay. Weber State. For a second, I thought it said Water State, and I was like, I never heard of
Water.
But then you also got, which obviously I think Utah can pull it out, Notre Dame versus Central Michigan. Going to be a blowout. Bet on Sam Hartman if there's anything.
Yeah, seriously.
Then you also got Iowa versus Western Michigan. Blowout. Maybe not a blowout, but I think they'll win for Iowa. Oregon State versus San Diego State. San Diego State has always got a team that can upset, but I think DJ Ugalele is going to be able to keep this streak going and be a contender in the already, funny enough to say, packed Pac-12.
Yeah, honestly, like Pac-12 looks pretty decent this year.
Which is crazy to say because this is their last year, and now they decide to be good.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like, they're literally a dying conference, and now they're just like...
They go from being the worst of the Pac-5 to now having the most ranked schools in top 25.
Doesn't make any sense.
Then you got UNC versus Minnesota. Minnesota is not promising this year for the Big Ten. Give me UNC. And then, obviously, as mentioned before, you got Alabama versus USF. Oh my God. And I am so ready for this game. And this is probably the only game, maybe ever, that I will root for Alabama in. But give me Alabama by 100. I hope.
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama as well.
I mean,
in South Florida too.
They'll
I know
definitely cover,
people going to it.
I think there was only like 1,000 or so tickets left. I mean, their seats are already red, so most of the fans will be able to blend in with the seats there.
This is true.
For
Except
Bama.
for that little student section that's right there.
That little student section.
The
for
Taco
sure,
Bell
for
student
sure.
section.
They're
They're gonna win it.
They wish, bro. They
Never.
wish. They're the RB student section.
Yeah, literally, dude.
But then, as mentioned before, Georgia, South Carolina. I'm gonna take Georgia in this game, but as I said before, upset alert.
Yeah.
Oklahoma versus Tulsa. I mean, I could see Oklahoma. They're on a mission this season, despite last week's kind of disappointing performance. I think they'll be able to handle business. Then you got Duke versus Northwestern. Northwestern's still dealing with Pat Fitzgerald's first year there. I don't know much about him, but I do know that Duke is actually, surprisingly enough, an ACC contender this year.
Yeah.
Which they were on the rise last year, so this doesn't surprise me that much. So I'm gonna take Duke in this game. Ohio State versus Western Kentucky. I was able to watch Western Kentucky versus USF, and that was the most dumbest game I've ever watched ever. Ohio State, with just how bad they are, Ohio State can blow them out, honestly. So Ohio State probably by like 40. And then you got Washington versus Michigan State. Michigan State is in a bad place right now. Washington State has Michael Penix III. He's going to be able to just throw all over this team.
Michael Penis the third.
Yeah. Michael's Penis III. Hey.
Michael's penis is 3 inches long.
And then you got UCLA versus North Carolina Central. I don't even know who that team is. Give me UCLA. I'm just now noticing I'm picking a lot of the ranked teams, but this is how they're playing a lot of FCS schools. Yeah. So Washington State versus Northern Colorado. Washington State, obviously. Tennessee versus Florida. I'm going to give the edge to Tennessee in this one. I got to root for my team. I can't vote against them or anything. So what about you guys?
Florida.
Yeah.
You're going to take Florida?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to go with my boys, but it's so hard to right now. It's just, it's tough. I'm probably, I'm going to stick with Tennessee. I don't know. I think it's a close one. I'm going to stick with Tennessee, though.
Dan Mullen rooting for us for the second year. Love it.
Yep. Fuck you, Dan Mullen. Literally, fuck you.
And then you got Georgia Tech versus Ole Miss, which honestly, I could see this somehow being a good game. And the reason for that is I was able to watch Georgia Tech's first game against Louisville. And yes, Louisville has a completely different offensive scheme to Ole Miss, and what Lane Kiffin's doing there is good. And don't get me wrong, Ole Miss is going to win this game.
Yeah.
But I think this game could end up closer, at least in the first half, than some fans might think.
I don't disagree, actually. I think that this could be potentially a really good game. And I always like watching Georgia Tech. They're pretty entertaining to watch just because they still do the triple option, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome to watch whenever it works really well. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're always a fun team to watch.
The thing with Georgia Tech, too, is they have Haynes King, who was Jimbo Fisher's guy at Texas A&M for a little bit, and then he transferred over to Georgia Tech, and he's been all right there. Then you got Michigan versus Bowling Green. Michigan is going to maybe go undefeated this year.
Yeah.
Hawaii versus Oregon. I was able to watch that Hawaii-Stanford game. They didn't look too impressive. However, their quarterback still has the most passing yards in FBS through 2 weeks. But Oregon and Bo Nix is going to be able to get it done. They're also playing in Oregon, so give them a little bit of credit there. Wyoming versus Texas. Wyoming was able to take down Texas Tech, but this is a different Texas. This is a Texas. I'm not going to sit here and say Texas is back, because I do think that they might slip up this season.
Really?
Yes, I do. I think it's typical Texas fashion. I mean, out of the few years, even when Sam Ehlinger was there, he still didn't make it to the college football playoff. I
think it's a different team, though.
It is a different team. I'm not sitting here saying it isn't. I mean, obviously, these are two completely different teams, but I think that there's just something that hangs over Texas since
they're just cursed forever.
Yeah, since Vince Young has been there, I think that there's something that hangs over them. I mean, they lost that BCS against Alabama in 2009 or one of those years.
Remember.
It was one of those years. So yeah, and Michael cut off the games on me, so it looks like we're going.
The last game was Colorado State on there.
Okay. So that's going to do it for our college football matchups for the week. Be looking forward to week 3. It's going to be a fun one as always. College football is better than NFL, but we'll get to the next segment, which is around the league, NFL, and the games to look forward to.
Do you disagree with that?
Yeah, we get in these arguments all the time. I only say that because I personally like NFL better. This is what I said. I saw something that it said it perfectly. In my opinion, college football atmosphere is better than NFL, but I think NFL as the games are better.
But you see that statement still isn't correct because
I don't see 60-0 blowouts in NFL ever.
But that doesn't happen every week.
It looks like there's blowouts every week, dude.
For different teams. There's also 133 teams or whatever in FBS.
But even if the worst team in NFL will not be blown out 60-0 by the.
I mean, there is a lot more teams in the FBS.
I know, but like,
NFL.
I'm just saying.
But the thing is look at it like this, right? Look at it like this. Lions beat Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Chiefs can still go to the Super Bowl. Alabama just lost to Texas. I don't see Bama going to the playoffs with one loss. Not with the teams that happened this year.
That's the only thing I don't like about college football.
It's also going to change.
I mean, like that. I mean, I guess I like it and don't like it about the fact that college football, like one loss, is so detrimental to your season.
And you can say that. You can say that for this last year because it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Next year that could change.
But even then, like you can still have 2 losses potentially going into the college football format that is now. But at the same time, as I mentioned in the chat before, there's a different level of intensity, not just from the atmosphere. There's a different level of intensity when it comes to the players.
There's a lot of pressure in college football.
Like when you look at a rivalry like Steelers versus like Bengals, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a rivalry, right? But you're not going to have that same rivalry atmosphere, not only from the fans, but the players as well. Like, yeah, the players are like, yeah, like they'll talk shit about the Browns. Like, AFC North always has some shit talk going on, right?
Yeah.
It don't matter. They're getting paid. It don't matter if they lose, they win, they have 7 wins at the end of the season, they're getting paid. College football, your chances of getting paid are on the line. I mean, obviously now there's NIL, but the NIL is still not, it's not comparable to NFL earnings at all. I mean, Arch Manning, he's one of the highest paid college athletes right now. It's like $1.6 million.
He's getting paid more than someone. I forgot who. There's like
I'm sure he is.
There's like a star player that he's getting paid more of.
There's people in the NFL, they make like $700,000 a year. Sure.
Yeah.
But there can be different reasons. But I mean, you were able to watch the LSU FSU game with me. You were able to see, who was it? Jaden Daniels get absolutely rocked by the FSU defender. That's a pretty damn good play to watch for me. I mean, I think that the play...
Cool.
It would have been a flag in the NFL. Would 100% been a flag in the NFL.
All I said was
NFL is softer.
Opinion,
NFL is softer, which makes it less enjoyable. Thank you, Luke.
It is a little bit. Well, I mean, in some aspects, I think. But I mean,
all I said was my personal opinion. I like NFL.
I know, and you can like NFL, but I'm just saying that like subjectively
wrong,
overall,
that's what
you're just wrong, Michael.
Every time I say
you're wrong.
Nick just comes up, just makes me feel like I'm wrong. Tries to make me feel like I'm wrong.
It's just facts. Bro.
I mean, don't take it personally, but you're wrong. So
yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't have an opinion.
I'm a little. I mean, I'm on the fence. I like both, but it's
obviously I love both of them, but it's just like Saturdays over Sundays. You know what I mean? That's how I would look at it.
See, everyone has their different opinions. I'm just saying. I look forward to Sundays over Saturdays.
And cry about it. College football is better. Let's move on.
I'm more of a baseball guy. I'm joking.
Basketball's coming up, and I think that's better than anything. And NBA basketball.
Anybody watch volleyball?
You know what? Livy gymnastics. Just saying.
I would watch that over.
I would 100% watch that.
Anyways,
all about that.
You want to do news or like game recaps first?
Man, let's just jump into the game recaps first. I mean,
all right, let's start off with the Lions and Chiefs.
Yeah,
real quick. Lions going to the Super Bowl. It's confirmed.
No, dude. No, they beat a freaking very hurt
Kelsey-less,
very like hurt and like whack, freaking no weapons for Pat Mahomes' Kansas City Chiefs team.
However, let's talk about this, man. Do you see the Chiefs going 0-2? Because they play Jacksonville next week.
Yeah, no, I can see them going 0-2.
I can see it. I don't think it will happen.
Even if they have Kelsey back, I can still kind of see it happening. I already predicted that this was going to happen. I knew that Kansas City was going to have a slow start to their year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, well, last time we released it on Thursday, but we filmed on a Wednesday. And I think that me and Mike both had the Lions winning.
Yeah, I had the Lions winning.
Yeah. So,
I just think there's so many good teams right now, dude. Like especially in the AFC. It's kind of stacked right now. So I think it's anybody's game.
It's a rematch, too.
Kansas City Chiefs like not doing very great isn't that far off of a thing that can happen, dude.
Yeah. Kadarius Toney cannot catch a ball to
It's
save
just
his
not a
life.
good year to be a Gator, apparently, dude. It's just really not a good year to be a Gator.
And then
We'll get to it, but Anthony Richardson had a good game.
And then he goes on his social media and then is like calling out the Giants for their loss. I'm like,
who?
bro,
Kadarius
Toney, yeah.
Because they like
That dude
because
is
they did terrible.
retarded.
He's
Yeah.
That dude is so stupid.
But Jared Goff had a good game. It was a fun game to watch. Good way to start off the season.
An interesting game though was Browns versus Bengals, my friend. Now that game was not expected, but I'm happy.
It freaking made me lose in fantasy pretty much, dude.
Made me also help me win in fantasy.
I don't have Joe Burrow, but I had Jamar Chase, and like, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, so this is the second year my dad's doing fantasy, and I told him to get Joe Burrow in the draft. He's like mad at me for like doing that. I'm like, dude, it's the first game. It's probably gonna be his worst game. Again. Yeah, my dad goes up to me, man, Michael always beats me.
He beat me in the championship though.
He told me that. So
I've won loss against your dad. I played him like 4 times or 5 times.
The biggest game.
I felt bad. I was like, I don't really care what this. Like, I'll let him win.
Sure. But man, Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski are looking, as we kind of have talked over the offseason, like, hey, they could be contenders for at least the AFC North, and it's looking that way. They already got an AFC North win.
Just throw to Amari Cooper, please. Like, he's there. Throw to him, and I would love that, honestly.
What, do you have him in like your family league?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And speaking of Amari Cooper, John traded Garrett Wilson for Amari Cooper. Honestly, not a good trade in my opinion.
See, I think that. So he got Amari Cooper on his team?
Amari Cooper and traded away Garrett Wilson.
I mean, honestly, I think that is good.
It's an even trade, but
I'm being honest. I think it's good.
I think it's an even trade, but I think John lost it because Garrett Wilson had Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco last year and still was a top wide receiver in fantasy.
Yeah, but I mean, Amari Cooper is still a good receiver, so I think it's really a win-win either way. It's just I think that they could still get around the same amount of fantasy points the entire season.
We could see.
I mean, maybe Amari Cooper has a little bit less, just because for some receptions you have Nick Chubb to throw to, who's a running back, which is awesome, and Zach Wilson's going to be targeting Garrett Wilson for the most part, but we'll get to that game in a little bit.
Yeah. Next game we had Texans Ravens. Lamar did not do as good as he should have done. It was it's his first game. He didn't play at all in the preseason, so it was like the first game jitters type situation for him.
Sad game for the Texans, though, dude. Jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't the best game for them. But the next game was the Bucks Vikings. This was actually a really good game. For the first like quarter, first half, I did not think Baker was that good. Like, he was not doing good. He could not move the ball down the field. They could not get the third down.
I did not expect this game to happen this way at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. I texted the group chat, say they should just put Trask and see what he can do, because Baker could not get a third down conversion.
You gotta let Baker bake, man. You can't be. You gotta be a Baker believer.
I'm just saying in the first half. The second half he did good. Finally they started getting the ball down the field. He's found Mike Evans. But
yeah, John texted me like after the game, like a day after. He's like, I don't know about Baker, man. I just don't know. I said, you don't know about a guy that had over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and beat the NFC North champion. Okay, at their home. I was like, dude, I get it. I respect your passion for Trask, but let Baker do his thing. Like, Trask will with his time. You know what I mean?
He probably won't.
Like, stop shitting on Baker like every week. Like, I get it, you want him to play, but your team's winning because of Baker, and now you're sitting here like, oh, I still want Trask to play. Like, do you want Trask or do you want to win? Like, honestly,
I don't know. Who knows?
Trask will get his time if Baker gets hurt, and then I think the Bucs will be pretty much like how they are. They'll probably do a little worse, but
I don't see them getting the first pick as some people predicted in the offseason, though.
I don't think they're going to.
I think we know who's going to be getting that, which is the Cardinals.
Yeah,
dude, they're just tanking on purpose at this point.
Yeah, but
they almost won. All right, let's
Justin
I know that was also crazy. The fact that they almost won.
That was a crazy game. We'll talk about that real quick. Cardinals nearly beating the Commanders.
Josh Dobbs, man.
It wasn't like he wasn't that good. It was a bad. It was
bad game for the Commanders, dude.
Yeah,
it was a bad game.
Dobbs had 132 yards. I mean, he had 21 completions out of 30. James Conner 62 yards. Commanders just did shit. Sam Howell, 202 yards, a touchdown, interception, but
Yeah, it was definitely a sleeper game.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking at those two teams, it's like. But anyways, you got Falcons versus Panthers. I mean, I could have seen either of these teams winning, but even then, like Falcons still winning by 14 is kind of surprising to me. But
yeah,
Bryce Young had 2 picks. He's showing that rookie Alabama quarterback in him. 146 yards and a touchdown, 20 for 38. Miles Sanders, a lot of carries.
18 carries, 72, and he was dropped right before the game.
Yeah.
I picked him up. Desmond Ridder, looking shit per usual. But Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson, great game from both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Bijan Robinson, sorry. Tyler Algier had more carries, had 15 carries with 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Bijan Robinson had 10 carries, 56 yards, and then also 6 receptions for 27 yards and a touchdown.
And yet again, it's not looking like a great year for fantasy owners of Kyle Pitts.
No, he's good. Just Desmond Ridder sucks.
Yeah, I know. Like, you put Kyle Pitts on the Chiefs, he's probably going to perform like Kelsey.
Yeah, probably.
But when you got Desmond Ridder thrown to you, Marcus Mariota, that last year, I'm talking about last year, it's just shit.
Look at, he had 44 yards on only 2 receptions. Like, give him the ball more. Come on. Drake London.
They were focusing more on their run game, but
yeah. And Drake London, no reception, 0 points for those fantasy owners, dude.
Yeah. And what's funny is our buddy Jay, like I remember at the beginning of the year, he's like, you might want to pick up Drake London. And I'm not saying he's gonna do that all year. I think that he can pick it up, but
I think he's good.
He was very good last year in fantasy. But that first game, everybody goes through their ups and downs.
Yeah,
for fantasy.
But Desmond Ridder will always be on the down. But the next game that was actually a really good game to watch was the Colts and Jaguars. Anthony Richardson actually had, in my opinion, the best game out of the rookie quarterbacks. He did very good. He was rushing with a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown. He had 220 yards, 1 interception. He got hurt at the end. That's the scary thing. They had to put Gardner Minshew in. I don't think it's like a big injury. I think he'll play next week.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a Florida rookie that I honestly, if he plays like that, he has a really good shot of winning Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And he could have that boom. Like I said, he's either going to be a boom or a big bust.
Mm-hmm.
And it was looking towards the boom side in this game.
Yeah.
Against a good team too.
Yeah. Fantasy owners can be excited for Anthony Richardson if they have him. I mean, we'll see how he performs, week 2. But moving forward, it was a good game. Wasn't able to really watch it, but I was able to see some highlights from Anthony Richardson.
Next game, sorry, Luke, but the 49ers.
I mean, what can I even say at this point, dude?
I mean, let's be honest, though. They're one of the best, if not the best team in the NFC.
We played a really stacked team. Steelers, it's not even about the talent on the team. We just did not execute at all. At any point, we didn't capitalize. The only good part about this team for the Steelers is the fact that T.J. Watt outplayed Bosa.
I did
3
see
sacks, 2 fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and 5 overall tackles. I mean, I'll always
T.J. Watt is amazing.
He's crazy. He's our best player right now. But, I mean, it's just we did not execute offensively at all. Horrible home opener for Mike Tomlin. And, I'm still on the fire Matt Canada train. So.
I'm confused. Like, why is Najee not doing good? That's my question.
We don't run the ball well. We do jet sweeps whenever we don't have
a
strong offensive line, and it's just we don't rotate our running backs correctly. It's terrible play calling. It's our offensive coordinator. It's been the same problem for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
So, the fan base is pretty much done with it. They gave Matt Canada 1 more year. Mike Tomlin and whoever else freaking let him stay for 1 more year because we ended positive. I thought it was a stupid idea, and we're now reaping the benefits of keeping Matt Canada right now. So he needs to go.
Yeah. Well, looking at the 49ers side, Brock Purdy looks picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, and I like San Francisco. I don't hate them as a team. It sucked to watch us get destroyed by them, of course, but Brock Purdy played an amazing game. Brandon Ayuk came out and did his thing, I guess. I mean,
Christian McCaffrey too.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey did his thing. A lot of people were kind of upset about Brandon Ayuk doing well because they decided to bench him on fantasy or whatever.
Yeah. I've actually been seeing a lot about Brandon Ayuk being Brock Purdy's more likable target and being wide receiver 1 to Brock Purdy.
I don't know how Debo did in fantasy.
He had 8 points or something.
Yeah, he did all right. Yeah, what's funny about that is I helped my dad. I told him to pick him up off the waivers. So
Hey,
and then
look, so you told him one good thing.
I know, yeah. And then he told me, he was like, man, I had a guy go off on my bench. I was like, yeah, man, I told you to get him, so that's not on me.
The next game on here is the Saints Titans, a 16-15 win for the Saints. Derrick Henry, not bad game. And then also DeAndre Hopkins' first game there. He had 7 receptions for 65 yards. It was a closer game than I thought it would be. I thought the Saints would win by a bigger margin. But Derek Carr's first game, he had over 300 yards, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I like the Saints this year. They're a sleeper to win their division this year for me.
It's really
I don't think they're a sleeper at all. I think that
They probably will.
Yeah. It'll be them or the Bucks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the next game here, Broncos losing again, 17-16
They're just such a sad team right now, dude.
to the Raiders.
How much hype can they get and every time let us down?
Broncos country, let's die.
They are not riding. But Russell Wilson had 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. Javonte Williams didn't look terrible off that ACL injury, right? His ACL or Achilles?
Who?
Javonte Williams. He got
I'm not sure.
I think it was ACL last year. But 52 yards on 13 carries, not too bad. Jimmy Garoppolo, his first game with the Raiders, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, not the best game, 19 carries for 48 yards, but not terrible. Jacoby Myers, though, before he got injured, having a great game. He had a better game than Devontae Adams. He had 9 receptions, 81 yards with 2 touchdowns.
I mean, we've known Jacoby Myers was a Raider since last year, and he's obviously pulling it off quite well.
I fucking hate you, dude. But the next game,
speaking of that,
I can't be mad. I'm not gonna lie, I can't be mad. It was a great game. Patriots, Eagles. The start of the game was about to turn off turn off right
16-0.
16-0 right out the bat.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but then the Patriots came back. They did not let the Eagles score again until the third quarter. Got 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. Mac Jones looked, other than that interception, amazing. He had 3 touchdowns, 316 yards, but for some reason, one of my friends, Daniel Jones is better.
No, don't say one of your friends. He's been on here before.
Yeah, Zach. Zach says Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback in that. He's like, you'd rather have Mac Jones? Would you rather have Mac Jones or Daniel Jones? Like, that's not even a question.
God, dude, that conversation was awful, man. We'll get to that after you explain this game.
But Zeke's first game, he had a fumble, but he had 7 carries for 29 yards, and he also had I think he had 2 receptions. No, he had 5 receptions on his debut. Ramondre Stevenson had a good game receiving, better than rushing. He had 25 yards rushing, 64 receiving. Hunter Henry, he's looking more like his Chargers first year as a Patriot year. It's looking like Mac Jones and Hunter Henry are going to be a duo, because they have a good offensive coordinator now that actually uses tight ends. And Mike Gesicki also had 3 receptions. But this game, you should be happy as a Patriots fan, honestly, keeping it that close to a Super Bowl contender. Their defense looks amazing. Christian Gonzalez looks like he's going to be a good guy for us. Matthew Judon as well, doing great. I'm excited to see this Patriots team. I think they're going to be better than a lot of people think they are.
I mean, now with Aaron Rodgers going out, they won't be 4th in the division. They might be 3rd.
That's another thing.
But yeah, another surprising game. If you're a Rams fan, you got to be happy because who would have seen this coming?
This is true.
30-13 against the Seahawks, who, the Seahawks made the playoffs last year, and you got healthy Matthew Stafford back. Even with an injured Cooper Kupp, they still win it by a fairly large margin.
Yeah, there's I forgot his name. I just picked him up. Looks like Cooper Kupp 2.0, Puka Nacua. 10 receptions. He had 15 targets. He had 119 yards. Mm-hmm. Looked really good. It was his debut. His rookie, I'm pretty sure. Looks like he's going to be their Matthew Stafford's guy based off solely off those targets. 15 targets is a lot. And
you know who is still looking like shit, which is Cam Akers.
22 carries.
22 carries. Like,
29 yards. He had a touchdown, though.
Fantasy owners are going crazy.
That's so bad.
Kyron Williams is going to be the lead rusher.
Yeah, and I mean, God. Anyways, that game was interesting. Cam Akers, of course, selling.
How does Kyron Williams have 2 receiving yards but 0 receptions?
Oh,
that's weird.
Maybe it's just a glitch or something.
But the next game, is Dolphins Chargers. This was a shootout like I thought it would be.
Predicted it.
Tyreek Hill, amazing. Did absolutely amazing.
Went off, dude. Went off.
Tua, also amazing. 466 yards with 3 touchdowns at interception.
Yeah, and you know the thing is I mean, this is when we talk NFL a lot, it's going to be a lot of fantasy, so you just got to get prepared for that. But with like Tua, I mean, people were looking over him, saying he wasn't going to be good this year, anything like that. I picked him up in another league that I'm in, the league with our dads in it, for my bench because, dude, last year, do you not remember the stack of Tua and Tyreek last year? Does anybody not remember that stack? It was absolutely insane. And look at this, like Tua was one of the best quarterbacks in this entire for this entire week 1. The top 5 quarterbacks: Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert. Sorry, not Justin Herbert. Jalen Hurts. Those 5 quarterbacks underperformed. They didn't meet their projected score at all. Some of them failed big time. Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson especially. Patrick Mahomes was like 2 or 3 points under. But I mean, when you're looking at a guy like Tua, this is a guy that if you're in a like 4 to 6 man league and he was still on the waivers, people definitely picked him up for sure.
Yeah, as
they should. I mean, this guy should have been QB1 for some people, in my opinion. I never understood the like Tua hate. Honestly, I've never understood it.
Mm-hmm. I don't hate Tua. I just think he's probably gonna get injured again this year.
And like
that's my fear for Tua.
That's the risk, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen again, unfortunately. But it might not. I don't know. It's whatever. But on the other side of the ball, the Chargers, Justin Herbert did well. He's a top. I'd say you put him at 6 on the top quarterbacks for fantasy.
Yeah.
He had 229 yards with a touchdown. Austin Eckler had 170 yards with 16 carries and a touchdown. Joshua Kelly he had 16 carries for the game, and he had 91 yards and a touchdown. I see him popping up on waiver wires. People wanting to get him. Keenan Allen, 6 receptions, 76 yards. And Eckler again with 47 receiving yards. But the next game we have, this is hilarious to me.
Absolutely
the Packers Bears. I see all these Bears like I saw before. Finally, we are beating the Packers this year, and then just Jordan Love comes into play,
and they still own you.
They still own you. I bet Aaron Rodgers was watching this game laughing.
Yeah, dude, then bro.
Jordan Love actually looked really good. Yeah, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, but let's not get ahead of ourselves when they're playing against the Bears defense.
Yeah, that's true. Remember like 3 years ago, Bears defense was a top 3 defense.
Oh yeah, with Khalil Mack.
Gone.
Yeah.
But Aaron Jones, amazing game. 2 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown, and then he also had 41 yards rushing with a touchdown. Then he pulled his hamstring, so that's great.
Yeah.
Can't really have much with the Packers. You're gonna lose something in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the next game
is what we were hinting towards earlier. Man, Michael, you got to give me a fist bump for this one. Cowboys defense, baby. Bro,
I have in one league, you have in the other.
Man, oh man, is that a great defense to have?
Yeah, dude, 35 points, right?
Yeah.
My league 44 points.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Dude, saved me. Kyle, if you're listening to this, I know you watch every once in a while. Take this L, bitch. He was pissed. But amazing game from Cowboys defense all around. 26 points from their offense, I'm pretty sure, and the rest was just straight defense.
One of the biggest rivalries, I mean, in the NFL, like a top 10 rivalry in the NFL, literally blown out 40-0. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it is the Cowboys though, and Cowboys Nation still ain't them boys, but I mean, they were proving themselves against the Giants for sure. And we can get back to what we were saying earlier. I mean, Zach Levinson, who's been on the show before, literally was saying that like Daniel Jones, like he's got to be joking.
No, he's
like,
not though. I know he's not.
I know he's not, but he like common sense wise has to be.
Daniel Jones is not the reason. It's the people around him. Dude,
this is the same team as last year.
He had 28 attempts plus Darren Waller. You added Darren Waller.
Daniel Jones has had so many opportunities to prove himself, and he never does it. He never proves
100 yards, 104 yards, 2 interceptions. Crazy bad. He is bad. He had 43 rushing yards. Oh, he can run. There you go. That's it.
Remember that one run that he had and he tripped over. Nothing. So it's embarrassing. He's an embarrassing player, dude.
It's insane. Nick in our group chat with Zach Levins was like, "Is it too early to say anything?"
Oh yeah, I said that like 5 minutes into the game too, and then like by the time they lost, I was like, "Is it still too early?" Like,
it's just having a Giants fan is hilarious, but it's also really annoying. But the last game we're gonna talk about is heartbreaking, but to some because of Aaron Rodgers, it's the Bills Jets, but it's also great for me because Bills defense.
Okay, this game fucking sucked for me. I had one bet that had to hit. I win $90. Josh Allen to throw like 2 passing touchdowns. He had 1. He had so many opportunities to get that one more. God, dude, fuck Josh Allen. Never bet him on that piece of shit ever again.
But you probably will.
I'm not gonna bet on him. I mean, sure, I can pick it. Like, I'll use him in. He's not in any of my leagues, but I'd have him in fantasy. But I mean, even then, he was shit in fantasy.
I mean, he had a great connection to Jordan Whitehead. Like, 3 interceptions.
3 picks, man. 3
all
picks.
The same dude.
He was throwing dimes to him.
He was, but he still had 236 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs still did his thing, 100 yards to the touchdown. James Cook didn't look too bad.
No, let's be honest. He looked like shit.
Yeah, he did not look great, dude.
12 carries, 46.
And I'm seeing all these things to start James Cook next week. I'm not riding with him.
I wouldn't start him. I don't think he's a fantasy top dog.
I mean, even like, FanDuel is over here FanDuel and like the official NFC fantasy app. They're all promoting start James Cook. I'm like, fuck no. And y'all can quote me on it. Now, he's probably going to go off now that I said that, but
he looked better than He's better than Devin Singletary, in my opinion. It's still upgrade. I
don't know.
I think he'll be better for the Bills than Devin Singletary will be, as ever it was.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, this Jets defense is proven to be a top 5 defense in the league.
They looked really good.
This is 1 week, but they were able to pull through whenever the team needed it the most. I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers who goes down in 4 snaps.
It's insane. That's so sad.
It's sad for not only Jets fans but also the entire NFL world. Like,
he's probably retiring.
Yeah, his
probably
career
is probably going to be over. Yeah.
And do you guys like read what he said to like Garrett Wilson?
It's
kind of sad.
Yeah, sorry kid.
Yeah, man.
That's sad. I feel so bad.
That makes a grown man cry for sure.
This whole journey, dude, and like. They were on Hard Knocks,
Dude, I'm gonna watch the next. I've been watching Hard Knocks. I just haven't seen the last episode. I'm excited what it's gonna be.
I mean, Hard Knocks, dude. It's gonna be interesting now. And I mean,
bro, the script writers, they knew.
The script writers, bro. I mean, dude, when you're watching it, you don't really see like an injury, at least from my point of view.
Dude. There was a TikTok that I saw. You talking about like the Achilles tear or whatever?
Yeah.
There was a slowed down TikTok and it circled around his his Achilles is, and you can literally see it overextend and pop. So what happens whenever you tear your Achilles? It's like an elastic band in your leg that like basically rips up and it goes all the way up your leg, and you can see where it happens, where it pops. I can't believe he wasn't writhing in pain because I hear that's one of the worst pains.
Dude, he got right up and then he had to sit down.
Yeah,
he realized he couldn't stand on it anymore because you can't walk really. It's a bad injury.
Yeah,
it's like you see it like it's going forward and then it goes, and then it's
awful.
Yeah.
I mean, now you got to ride on Zach Wilson, who obviously was benched last year.
He said he's gonna make Aaron Rodgers' life hell.
I guess he kind of did. But I mean, you got to think too. Like, I've been seeing these. I guess you could say memes, but I mean, I saw it on TikTok. It was more of just like now, like they saw this like encouragement coming from Garrett Wilson and other Jets players, and then Zach Wilson like ended up clutching up and they won the game. It wasn't his clutch play that won it, but he was able to keep him in it. And they were all saying like, oh, maybe now that they have like he's getting shown encouragement, he'll actually play good. Do you guys think that that's it? Because I don't.
I think he'll be better than he was last year.
Yeah, I think morale has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and he had some time to learn under Rodgers. And I think that's going to help him a little bit, but he did not look amazing.
They should just sign Colin Kaepernick. No, I'm kidding.
No, if they are going to sign a quarterback, because they will need to for a backup, I think honestly,
Matt Ryan.
I think the best option would probably be Carson Wentz as a backup for them.
Yeah,
but for that, I mean, there would be a QB like rivalry in there. Carson Wentz could take the job. I don't think Zach Wilson's that good.
Yeah, me either. But Man, that was a sad game to watch.
Yeah.
Through and through, from the Aaron Rodgers to, I mean, for me, I couldn't even really enjoy the Jets comeback win because I was so pissed about the bet. But I mean, it was a very wholesome win at the end.
Yeah.
Especially with Hard
Cinema.
Knocks. You know, I saw that guy. He had just came there a week before or whatever.
Yeah, it was his. No, he was an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
And he's their punt and kick returner.
Yeah.
Xavier
Gibson. Yeah. So,
but let's move into some news that are going on in the NFL world. First thing I want to talk about is these AI robots that were at, was it the Chargers game? I'm pretty sure that place for a promotion, for some movie. Dude, they look creepy.
they were so creepy, and I mean,
I don't know if you've seen them, Lou, but that's what they were placed all around the stadium.
Oh, is this for this movie promotion or
Yeah,
whatever?
it's for some movie
It
promotion.
looks weird, dude.
it's so weird. But I mean, also you got to remember, people do this all the time. If you remember that Smile movie, they had the people at the baseball games just smiling the entire at 3 hours, which is gotta
It's
hurt.
smart. I mean, it's pretty
that's
creative.
gotta hurt.
But
They gotta get paid, dude.
But I mean, yeah.
But
Wait,
also,
because you said this earlier. Who do you mean gets paid?
oh wait, actually they're AI bots.
No,
So-
those are real people.
Oh, they're real people.
Yeah, they have masks on. Those aren't AI.
No, I
robots.
thought it was I don't
Yeah.
even know what it was, honestly.
Yeah, those are real people with masks on.
Oh wait, are you talking about the Chargers or Rams?
No, I'm saying that the Chargers got paid.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I thought you were saying they got paid. I was like,
No, the team
because you said that in our group
paid.
chat. I was like,
No, I meant the team is getting paid.
yeah.
But other news that's going on: the Bengals, for some reason, cut offensive tackle Lyle Collins. That's the last thing the Bengals need to do. That's a starting offensive tackle. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys and the Patriots are both in on him right now because it's September. You don't really see a starting offensive tackle on the board to be able to be picked up. So stupid by them. But the Eagles this week, they're gonna have a rough time. They're out. Their outs for this week is cornerback James Bradbury with a concussion, Kenneth Gainwell with hurt ribs, their safety Reed Blankenship with another hurt ribs, and possibly Fletcher Cox with ribs, all injured. And who are they playing this week? I'm pretty sure they're playing the Vikings. Yeah, Vikings could win this. Their defense, if their defense,
give me the Eagles.
I think the Eagles will win, but if the Vikings defense steps up, they have a good chance of winning because their offense is really good.
Yeah, I mean, yet again, there is a lot of. I know on the script says NFL games to look forward to. There's a lot of good NFL games this week. A lot of rivalry games are happening this week.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be one of the main ones to watch out for. It's not a rivalry, but Vikings versus Eagles will be a very good watch for sure.
Yeah.
You're looking at some of the best players in the game playing on both of these teams. Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
But over in the AFC North, you got Ravens versus Bengals. Another huge rivalry game.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one, Mike.
Yeah, I am too. It's gonna 1:00 game. It's gonna be fun. But Vikings Eagles is tomorrow night actually. Then Seahawks Lions. It should be a good game, but I don't know based off the Seahawks last performance. I think the Lions will win that. Colts Texans. This is a battle of the mid teams type of situation.
Probably Colts.
I think the Colts will win because I think if Anthony Richardson plays, I think they'll win. He looked better than C.J. Stroud did, but in C.J. Stroud's defense, he was missing 3 linemen. Another good game is the Chiefs Jaguars. Obviously, it's a rematch from the playoffs last season. Who do you guys got winning this one?
I mean, any word of Travis Kelce's status?
He was practicing this week. We're practicing today.
I mean, this is really a tough one because at the same time, the Jags are going to be fired up more than ever. They have Calvin Ridley now, which is going to help their offense, which is kind of what they struggled with in that game against the Chiefs in the playoffs. I think that I'm going to go Chiefs, and I'm going to go Chiefs just because if you guys have seen that quarterback show with Patrick Mahomes, he's not going to take that loss lightly.
No.
Even though it's week 1, he doesn't care. They're going to go into Jacksonville, and who knows, there's probably going to I mean, Jacksonville has garnered a lot more fans, so you can't really shit on them for their fan base.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs fans are going to be there for sure. They're all over the country, especially these bandwagon fans. So it won't necessarily be a complete home game for the Jags. I'm going Chiefs just because I'm going to roll with Patrick Mahomes, but I'm not going to be surprised at all if the Jags win.
I'm gonna go Duval. I think just because of the point that you made about them being really fired up, their offense looks pretty stout. I think Trevor Lawrence, I'm honestly guessing that he's gonna have a big year. So especially since it's a home game for the Jags, I'm gonna take them in this game.
Yeah. It really could go either way, but it's looking like Travis Kelce's gonna play, so I'm gonna go
I
Chiefs.
freaking hope he does for the sake of the fantasy team.
Yeah.
He'll have he's gonna have over 100 yards if he plays.
And like 3 touchdowns. He's thinking better. Like, give me like 50 points. 50 points, baby.
But the Jaguars, like y'all said, Calvin Ridley is on there. Zay Jones had a great game in his first week. Christian Kirk's looking like wide receiver 3. But I got to go Chiefs in this game. The next game, not really. Kind of big because Jordan Love did a good game, but Packers Falcons. I honestly don't know who's gonna win this. They're both.
You can just skim over some of these
Bills,
games.
Bills, Raiders. Bills will probably win. Chargers, Titans. Chargers will probably win. 49ers, Rams. This one's a little interesting, but I think the 49ers will win. Then there's Giants, Cardinals. Cardinals, obviously.
Oh, man, I love the hate to the Giants.
And then Jets, Cowboys. This will be an interesting game. Cowboys coming, arguably, honestly, the number 1 defense in the league. And Jets, top 5. Jets without Aaron Rodgers now still has a good offense. I mean, they have Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson.
I'm just not super sold on Dak still, so it's just like
and that's another thing.
I think that it'll probably still be a closer game than people will probably.
I think
it's a defensive game.
I think Cowboys will win.
I do too.
No, I think the Cowboys will probably win too, but I think it'll be a closer game than people think.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be a defensive game, but Dak is better than Zach, and he also has CeeDee Lamb, who's really is a top 10 wide receiver, arguably a top 7.
Yeah.
Some people I could even see putting him at top 5. I think he's top 7, top 10-ish. Garrett Wilson also in that range, but he has Zach Wilson throwing to him. So I think the Cowboys' better offense will ultimately help them out and win this game. But the next game, Broncos, Commanders. Not a
battle of the mid again for the Commanders. God.
And then after that, we have Dolphins, Patriots. I actually think it will be a good game. However, the Patriots' offensive line just are hurt right now. There's their left tackle, Trent Brown, concussion, maybe not playing because of protocol. Both of their guards, Michael Wenu and Cole Strains, are still limited in practice. Their left guard, Saidi So, has a concussion as well. Great. And then David Andrews, hamstring injury. That's literally their entire offensive line. So I don't know what's going to happen.
It's going to be tough day.
It will be tough. Hopefully Mac Jones, Hunter Henry, and Kendrick Bourne can do what they did last time. And Keyshawn Butte, I think his name is. He's our rookie. Sold us that game. Sold it. I forgot to say that. He had 2 big receptions that he thought he was still in college football, and he put 1 foot in.
That's a hard mental thing to fix, but he should have definitely been working on that all off season.
Yeah, he should have. I mean, him and Demario Douglas is the other rookie. He did great. Keyshawn, not so much. Andrew was yelling at the screen to cut him, but it's whatever happens. Next game, Saints Panthers. This will actually be a pretty interesting game because who knows what this division is going to look like at the end of the season. I don't really know who's going to win this. Probably the Saints, Derek Carr.
I think they're just more established as a team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Panthers still good. Hayden Hurst, if y'all don't have him fantasy, I've seen him a lot. Pick him up. He's going to be good. He's going to be Bryce Young's number 1 target. And then the last game, this will be interesting. Browns, Steelers. Browns fan, Steelers fan. Y'all got.
I mean, from the way the Browns are looking, I'm going to go Browns. I mean, and that's solely based on, I personally don't think Kenny Pickett's a guy. I mean, you can disagree with me because I know that you're riding with him, but I think that soon enough, which after week 1, I've already seen a lot of Steelers fans not happy with Kenny Pickett, and they don't realize they're going up against the 49ers, but those are the diehard, fans like that. I'm kind of riding with him in the sense that he still has a lot to prove to me, being yes, he got you to 500. Congrats. I mean, what else do you go with being 500 other than you won some games and you still didn't make the playoff? I mean, I don't really think Kenny Pickett's it, and I think that the Browns D-line this year has also become more established than they were in previous years. I think that also Myles Garrett has just got that dog in him. He's going to be able to handle a lot of Kenny Pickett, a lot of Najee Harris, and also George Pickens. was looking like like that game. I didn't see a lot of good production out of George Pickens, who I was riding with all the offseason. Like I was saying, I was gonna pick him up in fantasy. I got sniped a few times, but also like it is a big rivalry, and I won't be surprised if Steelers get it. They got to get 500, above 500 somehow. So
all I'll say is that we had a really rough game this last week, but it's also hard to judge a team off of week 1.
That is true.
And if I'm being totally honest, I think this is going to be a different game for the Steelers. I think that we're going to turn around. We're going to start executing a little bit more. And I hear you about Kenny Pickett, but it's hard to say Kenny Pickett's going to be the guy whenever it's his year 2 and we're still under a Matt Canada offense.
Yeah,
you can't produce under this under how this terrible offense is being run right now. It's really, really a rough offensive coordinator situation here. There's nothing to build off of it right now. It's going to continue to be this. There's no George Pickens production because he's not getting any play calls to his number right now because we're just not getting good play calls. It's hard to say anything about Kenny Pickett right now. I want him to prove himself, of course, right now, but I know he is talented enough. He obviously was the most pro-ready quarterback coming out of the quarterback class.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of football experience. I just don't think it has anything to do with the talent on our team. I think that has everything to do with the fact that we have to execute a lot better, and we need a better offensive coordinator because it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's not giving anybody opportunity, especially like we have so much talent on this team. We have George Pickens, who obviously is a star. We have Deontay Johnson, he's got good hands. And
he's hurt. I don't think he's playing.
Yeah, he's. I think he is out this week, but he's obviously got good route running ability. We have Pat Freiermuth, who's obviously could be a star and a tight end. We have Najee Harris, who's coming out of Alabama, a star from college, and then we have Kenny Pickett, the most pro-ready quarterback coming out of that quarterback class, and we're still having this issue producing on offense. On paper, that shouldn't be a problem. So what's the issue here? I think that it derives solely from the play calling, and
I agree.
It's really our problem. Plus, our defense didn't execute, and to combat Myles Garrett, we have our own white Myles Garrett on the other side of the ball. We have T.J. Watt, and he's probably going to do just as well. He always gives the Brown offensive line a terrible, terrible time. So I think it's going to be a close game, and honestly, I'm going to ride with my Steelers for this one. I think that they're going to take it.
Yeah, it's good to remember too that the Browns are like 8-31 since 2000 against the Steelers.
And the Steelers also have arguably the best safety, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
they also have.
I think it's a home game as well.
Yeah, I think it is. And then also Allen Robinson, week 1, 5 receptions, 64 yards, averaged of 12 yards per reception. He looked really good.
Dude, I didn't even know he was on the Steelers.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I actually didn't expect him to do anything at all in this week 1, but they were calling his number. I guess it's just again like it's crazy. Like one of the biggest downfalls ever of Steelers offense is the fact that we like to do jet sweeps, but that's so bad to do whenever you have such a weak or young offensive line in the NFL. And we saw none of that in the preseason, and everybody was all excited. We were like, "Yay, maybe this is something we don't have to worry about anymore." Second play from scrimmage for the Steelers is a freaking jet sweep for a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah,
literally I knew it. It's a masterclass from Matt Canada, dude. He played so well. He did his best. It's annoying. Like he's been a problem for years and years, and he's in.
Yeah. Well, that is around the league week 2 preview. We're gonna head into our next segment here. Is that everything you all have to say?
Yeah.
So our next one is too early. NFL award predictions after week 1. These are our official. We got to see 1 week of these players. These are official who we think is gonna win at the moment. I'll start us off today. Do you want to do MVP, and then just go through?
Sure.
All right. So I'll start us off. The MVP, I'm going to stick with what I said before. I think it's going to be Joe Burrow. The Bengals have a thing of losing week 1 or doing bad week 1. It was a bad game for Joe Burrow, but I still think he is going to be great. I think he's going to make it to honestly, he could make it to the Super Bowl. I still think they have a strong chance of going to the Super Bowl this year. He still has Jamar Chase, still has T. Higgins. You still have Joe Mixon in the backfield. I mean, that O-line is not good, but for some reason Joe Burrow knows how to get around it. So I still think he's gonna have a great year. I'm gonna go Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, I could still see it happening. I'm gonna still rock with my MVP of Jalen Hurts. He didn't have the most productive game out of the entire season. That might be his worst game, honestly. But I think that he's still got it in him. I mean, he arguably could have been last year. He was a close second place, and I think that he's going to keep doing it and lead the Eagles back to the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna honestly pull out a little bit of a sleeper for the MVP. It is also a quarterback because it's just like a quarterback like driven league. But I said it earlier. I think that Trevor Lawrence is gonna have a really big year, and I think that he finally has the team that can give him that extra edge. And I think that he's just gonna have a killer year. I think that they're definitely a playoff team, maybe even a Super Bowl contender. I think that they got a solid squad, and I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to shine probably above all else. At least in my opinion, he should. So that's my pick for MVP.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
good
gonna take Trevor Lawrence.
I have seen some people.
Definitely a sleeper.
Yeah.
I've seen people putting him as a sleeper pick for MVP,
Yeah.
and it could happen with Calvin Ridley. So, offensive player of the year. I honestly have 3 options I could go here. I want to say Tyreek Hill is going to be great, but I really think Tua is going to get hurt somehow this year. And without Tua, I don't think they have Jacoby Brissett, right?
I just think it doesn't matter. I'm still
I think it doesn't matter either.
I'm still taking Tyreek Hill as my offensive coordinator, dude. He's completely already separated himself within this week
that
one.
Right?
Yeah, it's fine. Just
Wait, what?
You said offensive coordinator.
Or offensive player of the year. Sorry, I don't know why I said coordinator.
You're too busy stuck on Matt Canada.
Yeah, dude, I hate that man so much. But no, offensive player of the year. I think that I still think it's gonna be Tyreek Hill. Honestly, I think that he separates himself amongst.
I have Tyreek Hill as well, and I mean, you're saying I agree with Luke. I don't think it matters about Tua. You just had Tyreek Hill go off, almost win against the Bills in the playoffs with Skylar Thompson, your third string. I don't think it really comes down to that. Jacoby Brissett, honestly, he's a pretty solid backup.
Yeah, I know. A veteran quarterback. Team. Like he still.
Yeah, he still was able to win some games with the Browns. So I'm going all in on Tyreek Hill as my OPOY.
I'm not going to go that route because I want to stick with it. I don't think a backup quarterback is going to be great for Tyreek. I think he's going to be really good still. But when Tua got hurt last year, he was in the regular season. He wasn't amazingly good.
I think Tua is going to stay healthy. Let's not wish injury upon anyone, Michael.
I'm not. Did I say I wish that he's?
You wish. You low-key wish.
But I think it's going to be Justin Jefferson. He looked amazing in week 1 as well.
I think it's a good pick.
Kirk Cousins and him, their connection is really good, and it's really consistent. Tyreek Hill last year wasn't super consistent every week. I had to put that out there with Tua, and Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins were. I think that's going to happen again all year, so I got to put Justin Jefferson right there.
Yeah, I'm just roll with Tyreek, but for the DPOY, Luke, go ahead.
I'm going to take this is going to hurt to say, but I think that the best edge rusher right now, and probably like the favorite to win DPOI is Micah Parsons. Honestly, I think that he's just outstanding, dude. Yeah, he's just an outstanding player, man. Like you can't even deny it. I hate the Cowboys with every fiber of my being. Honestly,
yeah.
Like I might even hate them more than I hate the Ravens, to be honest with you. But like, yeah, I just think Micah Parsons just has undeniable talent. So
yeah, he's definitely big. You can thank fantasy for this. Anytime that Cowboys defense goes out on the field, I'm going to be rooting for him.
Yeah.
And I never root for the Cowboys ever. But DPOY for me, I'm sticking with my offseason pick as well, Micah Parsons. He came in second last year. This is the year to do it. Get over the hump. Give me Micah Parsons.
Yeah, y'all said it. I got Micah Parsons too. I just think he's a little bit over everyone else in the league when it comes to the defensive player. I mean, there's also always TJ Watt, Joey Bosa.
I think that, hey, TJ Watt could do it again.
He could.
After that week 1 performance, we played a horrible game, but TJ Watt
he was
still
the only
played
bright side in my opinion.
Yeah, he still played so well.
Yeah.
So he definitely could still get it, but the only reason why I think that he wouldn't is just because if the Steelers are bad all year.
Yeah.
That'll outshine the fact that he played well. So.
Yeah. But offensive rookie of the year, this is another one. I have 2 options based off week 1. I think it's going to be Bijan Robinson. I think he'll end up winning the award, but I think Anthony Richardson's going to be the second guy.
I think that, yeah, I'll agree with you to an extent, just because like I think it's such a quarterback driven league. Like I said earlier, I think that if Anthony Richardson stays solid, he could 100% run away with that award. But if he doesn't, and the Colts are super or really lackluster, I think that it's Bijan's award to win for sure.
Yeah, I think that Bijan is up there. Also, another player to think of is Zay Flowers. He absolutely had
This is true,
a great game for the Ravens. He was looking like their wide receiver one, who on paper was Odell. But think about it. You got Lamar Jackson throwing to you, and you're his wide receiver one, and you're a rookie. I could see Zay Flowers winning this.
I could.
And he's a little bit of a sleeper, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a sleeper for sure. But based off week one, my opinion, I think Bijan is one of them that could be. But also think about this. Jahmyr Gibbs, he didn't have the most productive game. They said they were going to ease him in. I think that he becomes RB1 in just a few weeks. I think that he could be better than Bijan whenever it comes to the wins and like him applying to the wins more than the Falcons and Bijan. So we'll see what happens.
I just think that watching Bijan in Texas, or Bijan in Texas, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, I guess, but I just think watching him in Texas, I already knew that he was going to excel in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He just already looked like a pro running back. So he looked great in his first.
I agree with you, but I feel that same way for Gibbs. I think that Gibbs is a better running back in my opinion, and I think
you could be right. Yeah,
I think that Bijan has like more. He has more production value, which can get him that rookie of the year. That offensive rookie of the year, because think about this: Jared Goff has Amon-Ra St. Brown,
and Sue Jameson Williams.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, and you still got David Montgomery, who has solidified himself as a good running back, a decent running back. Top 15 running back, not top 15. I'd say like top 20 running back in the league. So, I mean, you got that going for him. So, I think it could go a lot of different ways. Anthony Richardson, based off week one, if he kept playing like that, then maybe. I think that, in my opinion, Bryce Young has kind of fallen out of this idea for me. I rode with it with Michael at the beginning for the offseason, but
we were both kind of hesitant because we really didn't know how people would perform.
And, I mean, like I said, the Alabama quarterback thing, you got Tua, who's actually performing quite well right now. But historically, from these past few, kind of decades.
Someone.
Who?
Mac Jones.
Anyways, so so I think honestly I'm gonna say Zay Flowers is my main one.
Yeah, the reason I see Bijan will get it ultimately over Gibbs is Bijan's running back one. Already starting. Yeah. He's one of their main pieces. Jahmyr Gibbs would be one of their main pieces, but sharing it with David Montgomery. Then you could say Tyler Algier sharing it too, but they're using Bijan as a receiving back and running back. Tyler Algier is mainly just the running game, and then on the receiving end, Bijan's looking like the option one from their first game. Jahmyr Gibbs, he had a questionable play in his first game. He did look good. I think it was just the first game jitters, but Jahmyr Gibbs, like I said, he'll be eventually running back one. Bijan is running back one right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Bijan will ultimately win it over him. Anthony Richardson, you said it best. He has to play like he did here in the first game, and if he does, he will ultimately win Rookie of the Year, in my opinion.
Yeah. But if it had to go to a quarterback, then sure.
But moving on to the Defensive Player of the Year, who y'all got?
You mean rookie?
Yeah, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my offseason prediction, Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't go number 2 overall pick for nothing. Also, I put in my notes here, he already had 4 solo tackles and a tackle for loss in his first game.
I think it's going to be Will Anderson, too. I think it's undisputed at this point. I mean, who else do you think it could really be? I mean, maybe, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Gonzalez?
Christian Gonzalez, yeah, he did have a good game.
He's just got to excel.
That's the only thing. I don't think he will. At the end of the day, I would love to see it, but I don't think he will. Because
DBs usually get more approached by the defensive rookie of the year, so I think that he's got a better shot. To be honest, I mean, Sauce won it last year, but Sauce is just a different breed.
Well, yeah, Sauce is just Sauce. I mean, he's crazy. So
I mean, another one I put as my early one was Jalen Carter. He could. We just, like Nick said before, he's in the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
But he still could. I'm not going to count him out. But moving on, we all agreed on that one. We have our last two. Let's just do comeback player of the year first. It's going to be DeMar Hamlin.
I mean, when he plays.
He's going to play. Yeah. He just needs to play literally one game. Not even. He needs to play one snap.
Yeah.
And he'll win it. Mm-hmm. But which is deserved. It's perfectly deserved. But coach of the year. This one was our last one that it really could go
a lot of different
ways. I'm going to go, as of right now, this is something that probably can change and will change. I'm going to go Mike McCarthy.
I never would put Mike McCarthy in this category, even if it's way too early. I don't think I would ever put him there. I just don't. Never, dude.
So, speaker reasons.
I'm going to go because that masterclass of a game. I'm not going to lie. That was a masterclass of a game.
I get it.
This defense is looking just like last year, if not better, with the addition of Stephon Gilmore. They have Tony Pollard looked really good. He looks like a solid running back one for a replacement of Zeke. Dak Prescott, I mean, it's Dak Prescott, but you have CeeDee Lamb. You have Michael Gallup. You have there's someone else they got, actually. It was Brandon Cooks. Yep. Brandon Cooks. This is an offense you should paper it. I mean, it's Cowboys. On paper, you should be really good. Mm-hmm. And based off week 1, he looked like they're going to have a good season.
Yep.
If they have maybe if they lose 3 games, he's winning it, in my opinion.
All right, that's an interesting take. I honestly didn't think you'd go that way, but I mean, sure, I could possibly see that happening.
Maybe.
For me, based off week 1, honestly, I said at the beginning of the season Sean Payton, but you can throw that out the fucking door.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be Sean. But honestly, my guess is probably Robert Saleh from the Jets, especially if they continue to do well, at least defensively. I know that Aaron Rodgers, that's totally devastating for that team, but
think about why he didn't win it last year. It was that 5-game losing streak that he went on, and that's very likely to happen again.
That's true. I mean, it's such a hard division too, so it's like
it is. For me, I mean, I had Sean Payton. I was really kind of hoping it would happen. It still could. It's just week 1. It still could. But I'm going to switch mine. I'm going to say Kevin Stefanski. He was already talked about when we had Marshall on the show. Marshall had him as his coach of the year. I think that it could very well happen, especially after that first game, 24-3 against a division rival. We'll see how he does against the Steelers. We'll see how he continues to play in the AFC North. But I mean, Deshaun's looking like the massage never happened. You know what I mean? It's looking like he's back in the Texans, and I'm excited to see what happens there. So I'll take Stefanski. He's got a good jawline too, so it looks good for pitchers.
Yeah, well, that's going to wrap it up for our way too early predictions. We're going to head into our starts and sits. I think just me and Nick have the starts and sits, or did you?
I didn't make this one.
All right, so fine. We'll just go through me and Nick. So we'll start off with our starts. For me, I mean, he got to after that week 1. I'm putting Brandon Ayuk. They're playing the Rams, not a strong defense. He's looking like wide receiver 1 for Brock Purdy. He's looking like his favorite target over Debo, over God, my brain just farted. It's
over Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle. I don't know what just happened. Over Kittle. He looked amazing. So that's my first one. My second one, Michael Pittman. They're all wide receivers, by the way, for my starts. Is Michael Pittman. He's Richardson's number 1 guy. They looked like that connection was amazing in the first game. He went 8 for 11 in his targets and receptions with 97 yards and a touchdown, and they're playing Houston, not a strong defense. So that's where I'm putting my second. And then my last one is Kendrick Bourne. He's a guy that the Patriots, when they signed him, is someone they want to be big for Mac Jones. Last year he had a good year, but not the best. But he's looking like Patriots' true wide receiver 1 after the first game. He went 6 for 11 with 2 touchdowns against the Eagles. He's looking like Mac Jones' favorite target receiving wise. You could say Hunter Henry. That's a sleeper for me as well. It's Hunter Henry you should start. He's, like I said, looking like an old offensive coordinator, tight end, QB, little favoritism with our new offense. So that is my starts.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to go for I'm going to have a wide receiver, running back, and a defense. I was planning on doing every position, but I'd rather just keep it simple and do 3. So my wide receiver, I'm going to have Zay Flowers. He had 17.7 points last week, and he's got a big game coming up against the Bengals. Mm-hmm. This, as I keep mentioning over and over again, it's a rivalry game, so everybody's going to be pulling out the big guns. He should be able to handle his matchup, and he's looking like the wide receiver 1, so I'm going to give it to Zay Flowers. He was a late round pickup for most of the people. I say start him. Mm-hmm. For running back, I'm going to have Jahmyr Gibbs. I was hyping him up a little bit ago, but last year Seattle gave up the 3rd most points to running backs. And also Jahmyr Gibbs, he, like I said, he's slowly being eased into it. I think he's going to be eased into it a little bit more. He already had a pretty solid week last week. I think he had 9 or 10 points, which is pretty good for rookie's first game. And I think that he's going to be able to run a lot more. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm going to have my defense. I'm going to actually... Despite giving up 40 points last week, I'm going to say if you need a waiver wire pickup or anything like that, start New York's defense. Cardinals only had 132 yards by Dobbs last week, only 96 rushing yards against the Commanders, keep in mind. And I think that they'll be able to handle business. I mean, it's the Cardinals, so go ahead and pick it up. If you need anything, there's a New York defense.
Yeah, all solid picks. The New York defense is a little questionable, I won't lie, but I can see it happening. But my sits for this week, I have my first one is Christian Kirk. Based off week 1, he's not looking like he is going to be like he was last year. He looked like wide receiver 3 behind Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley, along with Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram got more targets as well. He only had 3 versus the Colts. And then Evan Ingram, like I said, is getting more targets, and they're playing the Chiefs. Not going to be hard. Not going to be an easy matchup. My number 2, I have Najee Harris. He's playing a hard run defense team in the Browns.
No. I agree with it.
It's a hard defense. He only had 6 rush attempts last week and only 2 targets against the 49ers. And I don't think he's going to have a great week this week. And then my last one is Drake London. 0 points in week 1. I do not trust Ritter. I trust Drake London, but Ritter I don't at all. They need a new quarterback. He's matched up against Jair Alexander as well. Week 2, he's not gonna have a good week. I just have to put that out there. So
yeah, I can agree with you on those picks, Mike. For my wide receiver position, sit Terry McLaurin. He's matched up against Patrick Surtain. That's going to be a hard matchup this week. He's also 4th on the target with he was 4th on the team with his target shares last week. 4th for a wide receiver 1.
Yeah,
I don't think it's looking that good for Terry McLaurin. Don't start him up against the Broncos next week. For running back, Isaiah Pacheco. I had to start him last week. Didn't matter. Still won my game by 60 because I just have that good of a team. But Isaiah Pacheco, I had to start him. Wasn't looking good with Dameon Pierce. Actually asked for this guy's fantasy advice, and I mean, it was roughly like around the same amount of points, and it didn't really matter to me.
Looking at it, it looked like you should have started Pacheco over Pierce.
Yeah, but the thing is we all watched the Chiefs-Lions game.
Yeah.
What the fuck was Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting all those carries? And especially around the red zone, man, that pissed me off. Go ahead and sit him. Jacksonville has the 2nd highest ranked rush adjusting defense in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not riding with Isaiah Pacheco on this one. And for my defense, go ahead and sit the Ravens defense if you have it. They're playing the Bengals. They're only projected around 7 points, which, can be all right for some defenses, but I don't think it's going to be that good. I think that the Bengals are going to bounce back this game, and Jamar Chase is going to have a lot of yards.
Yeah.
So go ahead and sit those, man. Let's head into Mike's locks.
Mike's locks. I was actually looking back at it. I was 2 for 2 this week. In my last week, I had my favorite was 49ers over Steelers. That hit. And then after that, I had my underdog Panthers over Falcons. Did not hit. And then my over was Bucks Vikings. Really surprising to me, but it did not hit. And then Cowboys Giants under 46 did hit because the Giants are so trash. So that's 2 for 2. Let's go into this week's Mike's locks.
Well, it's 2 for 4, right?
Or 2 for 4. I mean, sorry,
Damn.
2 for 4. That's better than what I ever did. I think my highest I gotten was 1.
Bro, like we said, he's been putting in the work of this offseason.
I've been doing my research. This week, I have my favorite. Again, it's going to be the 49ers at a minus 370 over the Rams. I mean, the 49ers look so dominant after that the Steelers game. So I got to put 49ers. My underdog, there's actually, looking at the games, I really don't see an underdog winning much. Maybe the Patriots. I think the Patriots will win personally. So I got to put Patriots plus 140 versus the Dolphins. No other really upsets this week. I think all the favorites should win. So I got to go Patriots. At my over, I have Browns and Steelers over 38.5, which is at minus 110 odds right now. I think that's possible. Only 38.5 points combined. I mean, they have the offenses to do it. So I think they could do it. I really do. And then my under is Chiefs and Jags under 51.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see that happening.
I agree.
I think they're both good defenses to hold the teams under 51 points. 51, I saw this as like, I mean, they're both great offenses, but 51 is a lot.
Yeah.
So I got to go with that. So that is this week's Mike's Locks. If you want to get some money, just do them.
If you want to win some money, man, listen up.
Listen up.
Betting's not even legal in Florida for
Yeah,
that.
no,
But,
I know.
but we still got y'all. Like,
I do my research.
yeah.
Prize Picks is though. Prize Picks
Prize
is.
picks, man. Oh man.
But
I'm ready for some more prize picks. This weekend, boys.
we're gonna head into our fantasy draft real quick. It's a AFC South edition. Let me get out the wheel of names.
Oh.
Wheel of names. So me and Luke. This is our first time with 3 people. Me and Luke did it once, and then me and Nick also did it. So this week, the first pick is gonna go to. Oh, I accidentally spelled Nick's name wrong, but it's okay. The first pick. It's gonna be Luke.
Let's freaking go. Oh gosh, who do I want to go with here?
List out for me though.
Yeah.
All right.
The second pick. No, please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Damn, that's on me. Damn.
Let's go,
yo,
yo.
Why
go,
is it
yo,
every
yo.
week, bro? Every
Go,
week.
yo,
You
yo.
It's all right. I get 2 in a row. So
Yeah,
it's
no.
I feel like I'm always getting it first. I'm always
You
getting
are.
the first
You
pick.
got it. It's like everything. All right, go ahead.
Oh man. I mean, I got to take Derrick Henry, right?
That's good. Derrick Henry. Huh.
Are you gonna go QB first, or are you gonna go?
Are we saying all these players are healthy, or as of what they are right now?
Yeah, as of what they are right now.
Okay, then ETN.
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 All right, give me Lawrence, and then give me Calvin Ridley. That stack would go crazy.
Crazy.
Damn, that's good stack. All right, then with my pick, I'm gonna go. All right, I'm gonna go Anthony Richardson.
All right. All right. I guess I'll take Tannehill, just because I don't want Shroud. And then I'm going again, right?
Yeah.
I'll take Zay.
Okay. All right, then I'm gonna make a little stack right here and
Might have
get
lost this
Michael
really
Pittman.
Nice.
Yeah, it was either Pittman or Zay for me.
I was
just wanted
really
to-
hoping you didn't pick that.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm a running back. Not that great so far, but give me Damian Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
And then right off the bat, for a nice little flex position, give me DeAndre Hopkins.
All right, then in that case, I'm gonna go the best tight end on the board. Give me Evan Ingram.
Oh no! I'll go Okonkwo for my tight end,
All right.
just because I like to say that name.
Yeah.
No, but I think he's solid though. And then, man, flex position. Somebody already picked Hopkins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just take. Just give me Robert Woods.
Damn. That's where I was gonna go.
Like, what else do I get there, man?
All right, I'll go Nico Collins. He had a good week, so I think he could be good for my flex.
And for the last pick, I'll just have to take Dalton Schultz. I mean,
Solid. It can't be
he didn't have a productive first
Yeah.
week, but it can pick up. It can pick up.
week 1. All right, let's go over each of our teams. Luke, you go first.
Yeah, QB, I got Tannehill, unfortunately. Tight end, I got Okonkwo. My wide receiver, I got Zay Jones. Flex, I got Robert Woods. And my running back is Derrick Henry.
Oh, you must love the Titans.
I guess so, yeah. That's just how it landed today.
That stack. All right. For my team, you got T-Law at the helm with the quarterback position, Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, Damian Pierce, running back, tight end, Dalton Schultz, flex position, DeAndre Hopkins. Man, this team is looking good.
That's probably the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
team that it
probably
could have
is.
been, dude. Or
my
at least said this.
Yeah, it could be. My QB Anthony Richardson, running back Travis Etienne, wide receiver Michael Pittman, tight end Evan Ingram, and my flex Nico Collins.
Yeah, dude. Nick obviously won this so hard.
That was good, boys. I like that one.
But that's gonna wrap it up for
And
that.
this was
segment.
the worst division we could
Yeah,
do.
that-
so
I know.
that's true. That's so true.
But we'll head into. We're gonna stop football for a little bit. Head into a little bit of news in the NBA world. First off, FIBA World Cup. USA didn't even make top 3. They lost to Canada in the third place round game.
Canada.
And Dylan Brooks talked his shit and proved it in that game.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give that man a lot of. I hate that guy so much. He's so
Nobody
annoying.
likes him at all, dude.
But Germany beat Serbia in the final. Good for them. Just wait till next year, everyone, because LeBron James is calling together the Avengers for this Olympic Games in Paris.
Let's go.
They got LeBron, we got Curry, KD, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis,
Dominant.
and more.
Dominant.
LeBron's like, bro, we can't keep losing these fucking bums.
Yeah,
bro.
seriously, dude.
It's literally like
Why are we losing these
all
games?
these guys said that they're gonna commit probably. So and Devin Booker says he's fine taking just a little back roll just to help out the team. He doesn't care.
Bro, literally LeBron, like, he says one thing, everyone fucking does it. Like, it doesn't
He's
matter.
Nick
like,
Fury, dude.
Like, y'all know about the
Literally.
bubble. Like, they all said if LeBron said no to the bubble, they wouldn't do it. Like, they're, I mean, like Draymond Green says, that's his king.
And Draymond Green's probably gonna play. I don't like that. He's not good, but it's whatever. That's just everything that's going on in NBA. I just want to put that out there. And then we're gonna head into our last segment here. Damn, did you see him?
What?
Like the next segment, just guess the team when you're looking at mine.
Bro, I saw one team, but I didn't see the rest. And I don't know, like, the rankings for it or anything.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
How many teams are there?
There's 3 teams.
Okay.
All right. So the first team, this is guess the team. I'm using fantasy rankings, and they're going to try to guess what team it is. There's 3 teams.
Wait, fantasy rankings?
Not fantasy, Madden rankings.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, bruh. What?
Madden rankings.
It's like,
As
how
a-
we gonna...
I was like,
It's gonna-
bruh.
We have 3
Probably.
teams. On point per team. Whoever gets it wins. All right. The first team, the QB is 76. The running back, 77. Tight end, 79. Wide receiver 1, 86. Wide receiver 2, 81.
This is like a mid team. This is a very mid team.
I think I have a guess,
What
but
is it?
I want you to go to.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Denver Broncos.
No.
Dang it. Because I thought
I'm
we
going to go, like...
Oh, just guessing till we get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoever gets
Wait,
it.
can you tell me the wide receiver?
The wide receiver 1,
Yeah.
86. Wide receiver 2, 81.
It's a mid-ass team.
Bro, with a 76 overall quarterback, you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah.
God. Is it the Bucks?
No.
Okay.
Is it the Steelers?
No.
What?
Can you give us a hint? Like,
All right.
can you
It's
give us the conference?
a NFC North.
Oh, I didn't even ask for the division. I just asked
Oh,
for
is it the Green
Oh,
Bay
sorry.
Packers?
No.
Oh,
Wait, no, you don't get another one. It's the Vikings.
No.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
no,
then it's-
Justin Jefferson would have been
it's
way,
the-
ranked way higher.
is it the Bears?
It's the Bears.
Because I was like,
Dang.
there's no way it's the Lions at that
Right.
point
Yeah.
because of the
Luke?
wide receivers.
All right. Luke, it's the first point.
I got to, like, remember the numbers.
I think conference is or like I think division is a little bit too
Yeah. I
good
wasn't
of a
thinking.
hint.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was.
You should
wasn't
just do
thinking.
conference instead of like division.
All right. That'll be my first hint for now on, just the conference. All right. Team 2. QB, 70. Running back, 81. Tight end, 87. Wide receiver 1, 80. Wide receiver 2, 74.
Oh my gosh, it's also a bad team.
Honestly, I think I know which one it was because I think I saw it.
Really?
Here,
Yeah.
let him get a guess first.
Yeah,
then.
very good, I guess. But I could be wrong because
Oh no!
I like quickly just saw like one name on it, and I
so
think it could
terrible
be this one.
quarterback. Who's bad? Oh no! 70 overall quarterback, bro.
70 overall quarterback. He
as a
sucks.
starter. As
Yeah,
a
it's
starter.
It's got to be the one I saw.
Is it the Commanders?
No, it is not.
Dang it!
Nick.
Was it the Falcons?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah, that's the one I
Falcons.
saw. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that feels like cheating.
I
I'm
forgot
sorry.
to-
But
that's
we
fine.
could have never got past the one if I just had to keep letting.
Yeah.
All right, last team. QB, 73.
Oh my gosh.
Running back, 83. Tight end, 85. Wide receiver 1, 82. Wide receiver 2, 80.
Is this the Raiders?
No.
Give me the quarterback 73, running backs
83.
83.
Tight end, 85. Wide receiver 1, 82. Wide receiver 2, 80.
You said 76 overall quarterback.
73.
73. Is it the Jets with Zach Wilson?
No.
I'm gonna guess the New England Patriots.
No.
Is it the Steelers?
Yeah, it's the Steelers.
No, that was gonna be my next guess.
It's the
Dang it!
Steelers.
No.
But that's the 3 teams I have. I kept seeing this on
3
TikTok.
mid-ass teams.
I know. I kept seeing this on TikTok. It's not our idea. So
It's a good game though.
Yeah.
it's fun. I saw it was fun. So I decided to do it. But we're going to head into the post game. This is a long-ass episode, I know. But thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Against the Call. We'll have another episode next week around the same time. Make sure you check out all of Out of Pocket Sports affiliations. Riled Up. The Uppercut will be coming to you with me and Luke on Friday. That's going to be a long episode this week. It's going to be super long. We
missed a couple weeks because we
missed 2 weeks
due to illness.
Yep. And then obviously Jay's Fit Down. It's a great podcast over there. Always killing it. Make sure you use our code SeatGeek. Oh wait, use our code on SeatGeek ATC for $10 off. You're for $10, right? $20. Oh, guys, we're just.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome. $20 off your first purchase. There's a bunch of college games coming up. There is concerts coming. Just use our code, and if you're a little tired, you know what you should use? Do you guys know?
I think I might. What is it like? Prime or like
no? It's not Prime.
Prime Energy.
Is it Gatorade?
It's not Gatorade. It's something better.
Is it Dubbies?
It is Dubby.
Is it Dubby?
It is Dubby. Use our code Against the Call on all caps for 10% off your next purchase for some Dubby. It's honestly so good. It's so good stuff. We have some. Like there's some right there.
Yeah.
That's our first ever can we ever got from them. But we have to keep getting because it's super good.
Yeah.
But also, you know what you should wear to those events?
Like maybe a sports jersey or like
kind of. It's a sports shirt.
Oh, really?
Really? So it's like Nike, like athletic.
No,
like,
something better. I heard from many people it's the most comfortable, most good-looking shirt
I think
ever.
I know what he's talking about.
I think so.
Is it the Against the Call shirt?
It is the
I
Against the Call
was about to say,
podcast
I was
shirt.
like, man, those things are nice.
They're
Like, I
really
think everybody
nice.
should be wearing those.
They are
Yeah,
super
really.
nice. Make sure you hit up one of us three, and we'll get you guys in contact to get a shirt. And anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's it. It was definitely a long ass episode, but
Yeah, I have to pee.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Thanks for holding it.
thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.